hate to say it, but his parents have been feeling unwell as of late, and I'm staying with them to help take care of Alex.
Oh, sounds serious.
Oh, no, it's not serious. Nothing terminal. It's just a touch of consumption.
And welcome back to Comedy Queers. We're talking, you're gonna be a heartthrob your whole life. I was just messing with you. We're talking, we ate tiramisu together. That's it. And we're talking, hot dogs get a bad rap. They've got a cool shape. They've got protein. You like hot dogs, right? And I'm Joe.
And I'm Trace, and we're talking, why you eyeing my lemon drink?
Why is that one of the most famous lines from this movie?
Because it's funny. I mean, I was debating between that and what? No! But I feel like that one's also made fun of the same amount. So, yes, everyone, we were discussing M. Night Shyamalan's horror or comedy, depending on who you're talking to, The Happening, in celebration, of Earth Day.
Indeed. What better day to celebrate this underrated gem?
I mean, there are very few evil plant movies out there. I mean, in the grand scheme of things. So, and we've already covered The Ruin, so I guess we got Day of the Triffids left, huh?
I was going to say, I think it's Triffids, and then, well, we need Carter Smith to get back on that sequel.
Well, okay, so before we go any further, Joe, because I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about, this 90-minute movie. This movie is so short, and it feels twice as long.
Depending on which part of the movie you're in, yes.
Yeah, depending on which part of the movie you're in. But I'm going to bring in our guest because she's actually one of the big reasons we programmed this too, because I think she's a fan of this movie. So everyone, she is a senior critic at Pajiba and Toronto's resident Batman expert. You may also remember her from our episodes on Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Saw, Shiva Baby, and The Stylist. Please welcome back Lindsay Traves.
Hello.
Woo! Lindsay the Happening Travis.
That's right. Number one M. Night Shyamalan fan. My favorite comedian, M. Night Shyamalan. King of comedy, M. Night Shyamalan. Thrilled to be here to discuss one of his many masterpieces. And yeah, the back half of this movie feels like it's 3 hours long.
Well, so right off the bat, Lindsay. So, I mean, you said you were going to come here to discuss The Happening. Are you coming here to defend The Happening?
Does The Happening need defense? I don't know. No, yeah, it does. I don't know that, I'm defending The Happening per se, but I do think a change in perspective in how we consume The Happening can make it read, a lot better of a movie. I think it's, once you get past that, first 10 minutes or so where you're like, what's happening here? If you just kind of realize the game that the movie's playing, it can change your perspective. It's more of I'm here to provide a paradigm shift as opposed to a defense.
Yeah, so you want people to dislike it for the right reasons, not the
sure,
wrong.
Yeah. As long as for the right reasons.
There are people who like this movie. We should be clear. There are always people who like a movie. So if this happens to be a personal fan favorite of yours, folks, that is totally fine. I just think, this movie has a fairly negative reputation for most folks.
Justice for The Happening.
Weirdly enough, though, I don't think it's Shyamalan's most hated film.
The Lady in the Water is right fucking there.
I think it's Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh.
Yeah, that one I feel like people don't even remember.
I don't even acknowledge it. Who is she? Mariah Carey. No. Mm-mm.
But I still have yet to see Lady in the Water. And it's one of those ones where, every time it comes up, I'm like, I really just want to watch it just so I can say, I've seen it. These are my thoughts on it. But I have not heard a single good thing about Lady in the Water since it came out 20 years ago.
It's just really forgettable.
So boring. So boring.
I can imagine it, but if you ask me, if you were like, oh, do you remember the scene when? I'd be like, no.
Well, and by comparison, The Happening, which, I mean, yes, I don't really like this movie. I do think there are parts of it that I like, and we'll go through it in the plot, but I feel like The Happening is bad in a more entertaining way, not by much, but more than what I've heard of Lady in the Water, which apparently is just a boring movie.
One of the things that I don't like about that film is that M. Night gives himself his biggest role to date. So it's not just a cameo. He is a supporting character. He is one of the antagonists in the film. And it feels like him personally going after people who critique his film. So it feels very uncomfortable.
Oh, that's embarrassing for him.
Yeah, it's not great.
Well, okay. Well, so Joe, then what about you? What are your thoughts on this movie?
Okay, so I did not see this in theaters. I think I rented it on DVD, and I was like many people where I thought I was watching a horror film, and I thought that it was not good except for some of the violent kill sequences. And then over time, I have come to gently reappraise it. I still think that the acting performances by our two leads are absolutely abysmal. And even if we do try to recontextualize this as a comedy, there's just so many times where I can't get behind the film because I fucking hate Wahlberg and Deschanel's acting.
And like, I know you don't really like Mark Wahlberg that much, but like,
no. Well, I don't like racism, so no.
Sure, but Mark Wahlberg's presence in a movie like doesn't make me want to stop. You know, I've seen plenty of Mark Wahlberg movies that I like, and I've seen plenty of Zooey Deschanel movies that I like. But yeah, they are utterly lost. And I don't know if it's a problem with the script, if it's a problem with their performance, or if I should really blame Shyamalan for allowing them to act this way in this movie.
Well, or encouraging them to do so, because I think Deschanel is on record as saying, no, he told us this is what he wanted. This is a showgirl style situation.
That has to be, like, in my headcanon, it was a directing... I don't want to say issue because I don't think it's an issue. But to me, it was a matter of direction because I do feel like to me, if there's anything to tell me that this movie is in on the joke, because it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
If there's anything that suggests to me that this movie is in on the joke, whatever you think about Mark Wahlberg's acting, it's Mark Wahlberg, and whatever you think about Zooey Deschanel, she's Zooey Deschanel. Like, it's not their first time. Do you know what I mean? Like, Wahlberg worked with Scorsese. Like, it's not his first time on a film set. And they are being so bizarre. So to me, that's like the number one hint that this movie knows what it's doing because their acting is so weird. And I don't think that either of them would be like, this is an acting choice. Like, I really feel like, I don't know. So that's in my mind, it's always been like, M. Night was like, no, I want you to be weird. I want you looking directly into the lens when you deliver this line. I want you staying completely flat when you say, it was just tiramisu or whatever she says.
Fucking tiramisu. Like, yeah, no, it has to be that, right? Because you're absolutely right. They've made way too many other movies before this point, and yeah, if this was, this is who my character is, it doesn't even fit the character. I mean, I don't know who Alma is in this movie.
No,
like, man, she doesn't have a job. She doesn't have a backstory. She just maybe had an emotional affair with M. Night's character.
That is the wild thing, though, is like, I'm like, okay, so she cheated on Mark Wahlberg. Okay, there's your conflict for the movie. And it's like, no. She had a tiramisu like daytime outing with some guy.
And it doesn't like, aside from them like being distant and coming back together, which is like, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure we're going to get into this a lot. I have so many things to say, but aside from like that arc, which really doesn't pay off much except for the like happily ever after finale,
right? It
really doesn't like do very much at all. They could have just been a loving couple that whole time, so it like doesn't matter like.
No, why is it in here? It has no bearing on the plot.
Just so that what's his name? Like Leguizamo can be weird. He has so many weird lines to Alma that you're like, what is this guy doing?
But that is the thing, though. I think that because like I was going to say the human drama doesn't work in this movie, but I don't think there is human drama in this movie. And I think that is a big problem, which could be remedied. You know, he's going for like this, like, 70s paranoid thriller, or I would even argue a disaster film. But what this movie is then missing, if we're not having the human drama, is an ensemble cast of characters to fill all this out.
Yeah, because it's actually a small cast, all things considered.
Well, because if someone comes in that's new, they die pretty quickly after that.
Yeah.
But okay, well, let's go through. Truthfully, honestly, there isn't a lot of like drama behind the actual production of this movie because I think, Lindsay, you're right. This is all intentional. Like, none of this feels like an accident that this movie turned out this way.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. The Happening is the 8th film from writer-director M. Night Shyamalan, following his first major critical and commercial failure in the aforementioned Lady in the Water from 2006. That was the first film he made without Disney's involvement since before The Sixth Sense. Basically, Disney came on for Sixth Sense and they did all of his films until Lady in the Water, when I guess it caused a rift because like an executive at Disney basically said, I don't get this and I don't like the fact that you're in it. And that's when he took that movie. He was like, fine, I'm leaving you, Disney, and went to Warner Brothers.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. So The Happening, which is a 20th Century Fox film, is his second film without Disney. Although, of course, now it is a Disney film. So, yeah.
Right. They own everything eventually.
What isn't? Yeah.
But the idea for the film came to Shyamalan. Well, he said, just driving down the highway, he said it was an idea for an apocalyptic movie that he just started obsessing over. And he told producer Jose Rodriguez that he wanted to do something that was kind of a throwback to 1970s paranoia films. And his goal was for it to be, and I quote, the best B movie you have ever seen. And
right.
I will say, in 2019, while doing press for Glass, which again was, because after Split, it was like, oh my God, like Shyamalan's back, even though it should have been after The Visit, but whatever.
Which we all agree on now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, The Visit's fantastic. But in that press tour for Glass, Shyamalan said that to him, a B movie is a consistent kind of farce humor. But then he name drops The Blob, saying the key to The Blob is that it just never takes itself that seriously.
He's talking about the original Blob too, not the remake.
I imagine so. But that's what I wanted to get in here, though. I wanted to know what Shyamalan's definition of a B movie is. And I think when you hear him say, oh, it's a kind of consistent farce humor, then, Lindsay, your paradigm shift of how to view this film kind of comes into play. He views this movie as farcical humor.
Yeah. And some people consider it fart humor because it's not good to them.
I mean, we are missing a fart joke in this movie, but it's fine.
It's the wind. The wind is farting throughout the entire film.
Yes. There's no passing wind joke or breaking wind. Okay. So Lady in the Water comes out July of 2006, and by January of 2007, Shyamalan was in Hollywood trying to cement the deal with Paramount to turn the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender into a live-action film for Paramount. So he's got Warner Bros. With Lady in the Water, and then Paramount with Last Airbender. But by this point, he'd already written the script for The Happening, which was at the time a spec script called The Green Effect, and had a logline as a large-scale cataclysmic environmental crisis. I'm surprised it's not called The Event, as we call it so many times in this movie, right. That turns into a struggle by mankind to overcome nature. And I mean, I feel like, because I've seen people refer to the plant reveal, if we can even call it that, as the twist of this movie.
No, that's just people trying to force
Shyamalan. Not him. That's people being obsessed with the Shyamalan twist and him needing to have a twist in every one of his movies.
And there is no twist.
Let it go.
Yeah, there is no twist in this movie. And it's pretty upfront about its plants most of the time.
Yeah, we sometimes want to say, oh, maybe it's still the CIA, maybe it's still terrorists or something, but it feels like the further you get into the film, anytime somebody says something like that, everybody just kind of rolls their eyes and says, no, it's probably the fucking plants.
I will say that was kind of the thing that struck me the most was on this rewatch was all the terrorist mentions, because I mean, again, this is 2008, so we're still 7 years beyond 9/11, but just of how much terrorism was still on the brain at that point in time.
It's still on the brain. I'm like, this movie evokes 9/11 a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. Mm-hmm.
Like, it made me, and again, it's funny, like, looking at things that I said or wrote or whatever 10 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and being like, oh man, I forgot that I already made that connection at a completely different time.
Yes.
But I, when watching it this time to prep for this, I immediately was like, when did Saw come out again? And when was the, I had this, moment of, when was the torture porn boom? Because I was trying to think, where did this fit into, post 9/11 movies and how we talked about these things? Yeah. And I was like, right. Oh, yeah. And then I was like, oh, yeah, right. I noticed that 8 years ago, too.
Yep.
Yeah, folks, by the way, if you don't know the reason, one of the main reasons why we invited Lindsay to come back on this particular episode is because she wrote a totally viral post for Bloody Disgusting defending this film as a comedy. So presumably in this episode, you will hear her say several of the points that she made in that piece. But if you want to check it out for yourself, we'll link to it in the show notes.
I was just thinking, too, I was like, we should have pulled some comments from that article just to see what kind of man babies were complaining about her defending a movie that's widely considered to be terrible.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty, I don't really remember, to be honest, but I do feel like it was pretty
it was fine.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I took a quick look and there were a bunch of people saying, oh, people will say anything to defend a movie. And I was like,
I mean, that's
okay, but you're not actually saying anything of merit or anything to the contrary.
Well, because that's the comments. But honestly, for Blood Discussing comments, that's pretty tame. So I mean,
it was a bit tame. Tamer than usual, we'll say.
But anyway, so apparently no studio liked this script for The Green Effect enough to make a deal, with most of them understandably wary, considering that Lady in the Water was the first true failure of his career. Because even though, I mean, The Village had mixed critical reception, but it was still a huge box office hit. Oh, I'm sorry, it was a box office hit, not a huge box office hit.
Yeah, it did well.
Yeah, but with that film, Shyamalan was personally hurt when ex-Disney production president Nina Jacobson, that's who it was, told him point blank, as I said, she didn't get his Lady in the Water script and didn't like his decision to cast himself. So that's what happened there. And Shyamalan said that he wasn't at all bothered by not securing an initial deal for The Happening, again, still called The Green Effect. But because he got strong notes and observations from several top studio executives like Fox head Tom Rothman that helped him hone his vision. So by this point, Shyamalan had also reunited with his Sixth Sense and Unbreakable producer Barry Mendel, who gave him more input and convinced Shyamalan to rewrite his script of The Green Effect. And I'm assuming at this point he converted the name to The Happening, which I still think is a pretty silly name. It's a very generic name, but whatever.
It's very generic. Do we think The Green Effect would have been better? It feels a little more appropriate.
No, because especially as they kind of play the like, what's happening?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's my quick opinion.
Well, I mean, I will say, because I did see this in theaters in 2008. I mean, this would have been my freshman year of college, or the summer after my freshman year of college. And I was drawn in because it was Shyamalan's first R-rated film. And again, the mystery of what was happening, like what was causing these mass suicides. And I'm not going to lie, I really wanted to see some gnarly suicides.
Sure. Yeah. What does Shyamalan do when he can actually show things instead of just building a lot of creeping dread and tension?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I would argue he's trying to build dread in this movie. So it's, I do feel it in fits and starts.
Sure.
But then either Mark Wahlberg or Zooey Deschanel speak and it's ruined. So
yes.
But anyway, so Disney was not one of the studios he showed The Happening to. So he was so burned by that relationship that he was like, I'm not even going to show them the script. So fuck that. Fox came aboard in March of 2007 and announced a planned release of June 2008. And right then and there, they were like, this is going to be Shyamalan's first R-rated film, carrying a budget of $57 million. Part of the reason that Fox agreed to make the film was because that studio had Rothman. He was enthusiastic about it. So that's there. But also because Fox had demonstrated what he calls acumen in marketing similar apocalyptic fare like Independence Day and The Day After Tomorrow.
Okay, so they did look at it as something of a disaster film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Although the Independence Day fucking rules. Day After Tomorrow, a big snooze fest, but it's fine.
Oh my God, CGI wolves.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm neutral on Day After Tomorrow, but I didn't actually know that until you said that. But again, when I was watching this movie this week, at the finale, I had a moment of like, oh, kind of Day After Tomorrow.
Well, because Day After Tomorrow is also a global warming movie.
Yeah.
Right.
But, okay. The other reason is because, though, Rothman was really gung-ho about making the film edgier, pushing it to the boundaries of an R rating, which made Shyamalan happy, and he said, Tom felt strongly about making this my first R-rated picture. We talked about trying to get the kind of intensity that... Okay, this is wild. We talked about trying to get the kind of intensity that is present in The Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, sir.
Again, comedy.
And the kind that Guillermo del Toro got in Pan's Labyrinth. The impact,
oh my God.
The impact of the beautiful things in that movie wouldn't have landed as strongly if the film had not been R-rated. And I'm like, sir, you are setting yourself up for failure by putting your movie on these two specific pedestals.
I feel like we can see it in the climax, though, right? That emotional moment where they're separated by that space, but they rediscover their love. You can tell we're trying to go for something real and authentic, and it just unfortunately cannot land in this point because we are so tuned out from these characters.
It's too late.
Yeah.
By then. But also, what in this movie, aside from the like couple, and I mean couple, like I can count them and it's two, shocking moments are like worth, like what, I don't know. Like what about this movie is like, oh thank God it's R-rated or whatever. Like
I think it's just the deaths, isn't it?
But it's like two of them. There's only like two really gruesome ones.
So yeah, that just, again, seems to set him up for failure, but he prepped and shot The Happening while he continued to write the script for Avatar: The Last Airbender, with filming beginning in August of 2007 and taking place, like all of Shyamalan's films, primarily in Philadelphia. Now,
of course.
It gets released June 13th, 2008, against fellow new release The Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one. That movie opened to the number 1 spot with $55 million. The number 2 spot that weekend was Kung Fu Panda, which earned $33 million in its second week of release. And
that's stiff competition, actually.
Yeah, and third place was The Happening, which overperformed and earned $30.5 million opening weekend.
I didn't think it opened to that much. I thought we were looking at high teens.
No, it did really well, but word of mouth quickly caught on, and the film tanked in the following week. So its final domestic gross, again, we're looking at a budget of $57 million. The domestic gross was $64.5 million, with the international gross being $98.8 million. So we've got a worldwide total of $163.4, so this is still considered a box office success.
Okay, yeah.
I saw the Hulk that weekend.
I did not. I did not.
I didn't realize it was the same weekend, but I definitely saw the Hulk in theaters. I remember it very specifically. And I'm like, huh. I guess that's why I didn't see that happening.
Right.
Like right away.
Did you not see it in theaters either? This is like a video release for you?
Yeah, I watched it. I actually can't remember. So I was telling you, like, I still have my DVD copy that I've had at least since 2009. And I was thinking to myself, like, I think that was the first time I watched it, was when I bought that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, is it? I don't know. I can't remember if I'd seen it before and liked it enough to buy it. Like, the anecdote is, like, I used to take the train to and from university, like, to visit my parents. It was a 2-hour train if I was visiting home, and there was a Blockbuster on my way to the train station, so I would just, like, go in, buy a used DVD, and then that's what I would watch on the train.
Love it.
So that was my, like, routine, and so I have, like, so many weird, like, I would just, like, go to the bargain
impulse
bin
purchases.
And, like, yeah, then I'd be like, okay, whatever, I want to watch this from, like, the used DVD bin. And so one time it was The Happening, and I can't remember. I feel like it was my first time watching it. I'm pretty confident.
Oh my god, watching this on the train too,
On the
because
train.
it's a train sequence.
Yeah.
yeah, a lot, yeah. And I was like, yes.
You Canadians
Good.
and your trains.
I love a train.
Get
So
on it,
convenient.
Americans.
Hop on the train.
So convenient.
But okay, while the film was a financial success, what it was not was a critical success.
You don't say.
We are looking at a Rotten Tomatoes score of 17%. Letterboxd users have given this a 2.1 out of 5.
Oof.
Cinema Score audiences gave this a D, as in dog. It kind of became like a laughingstock among not just cinephiles, but general audience as well. I will say, though, Shyamalan's next film, Avatar: The Last Airbender, would get even worse reviews with a 5% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Woof.
Yeah, and I don't think that one's gotten any kind of reappraisal the way that this film has.
Finally, I did check this. I think Lady in the Water has a slightly higher Rotten Tomatoes score, but it's like 22% or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I pass it off to you, Joe, so there is kind of this famous anecdote where Mark Wahlberg did publicly like bash this movie when he was doing his press tour for David O. Russell's 2010 film The Fighter, because Amy Adams was his co-star of that movie, and the way it came up is because Amy Adams was up for the role of Alma. And
Too good an actress. We had to get her out of here.
He basically said, like, oh, she dodged a bullet. Like, fuck it. Fucking plants in that movie. And, like, Shyamalan was asked later, like, oh, like, what do you think about what Mark Wahlberg said? And he's like, well, I mean, Mark Wahlberg's my friend, and, like, he has his right to think that. His exact phrase was, it's totally his call, however he wants to interpret it. But what Shyamalan thinks about this movie, and this is the best I could get, he says, so I went back again to that earlier definition of what a B movie was, where he says it was a consistent kind of farce humor. Shyamalan says that he thinks his mistake with The Happening was being inconsistent with his farce humor.
Okay.
I think, Lindsay, that's something that you were alluding to, which is that there are times where this film actually seems to go for it as if it is a true B horror movie. And then there are these other times where, deliberate or no, it seems to edge into full-out farce comedy. And the two just do not connect well.
Yeah, I do. That's interesting. Like, I remember, again, this was a while ago. I, like, even as I'm, like, reading things that I quoted, I'm like, oh, I don't remember even reading. Like, I definitely did read things that I quoted. But I remember being like, I can't be the only person who thought this. And then, of course, I'm not. There are other people who wrote similar reappraisals. And then I was like, where is Shyamalan being like, man, like, and I'm not comparing them in quality, even though I might make this argument. Think about, like, Jennifer's Body, where, like, when it was reappraised, everyone was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas I don't feel like there's a lot, and maybe it's just, like, not something that I'm finding out. I don't feel like there's a lot of, like, Shyamalan being like, duh.
Right.
But I think that's right there in his quote. If he can admit, yeah, I wasn't consistent with this, because that is the thing. Like, there are parts where I'm like, yeah, it's really funny, but it's hard to tell if it feels intentional on a scene-to-scene basis.
Fair, yeah.
That's why I think the movie ultimately falls into camp as opposed to something else. Like, it just, so much of it feels unintentional, even if he was striving for something. It feels like he just doesn't know how it's going to play. And then when you watch it, you think, oh God, is this really what you were looking for?
And here's the thing, all of that would be mostly fine to me if I found this movie entertaining. And I think at a certain point it stops being, it's not even like, I'm laughing so much at this because it's so bad or it's so funny or whatever. I'm just like, I'm not invested anymore at a certain point.
I think that's that inconsistency, right? We said the movie feels so long, and I think it's because every time you think you might be riding its wavelength, whatever fucking wavelength that is, then something different happens and you're like, no, I'm back to square one. Oh my God, this start and stop of tone is just, it makes the movie feel endless at times.
Yeah, it's long. The back half's long. I feel like, again, having seen it lots of times, every time they separate and it's kind of just the three of them, two of them, whatever, them and the kid, you're kind of like, by the time it becomes just the two of them, I feel like as soon as that happens, even though the funniest part of the movie is, oh my God, those kids getting shot. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay, the kids getting shot is crazy. Is wild. But as soon as it's them with the old woman, then it's like another hour. Even though it's probably like 10 minutes. It feels like an hour, even though their interaction is so funny.
Well, but okay, but I saw, I should have pulled the quote actually. But basically, what someone said, and it was also kind of a reappraisal of the film, was saying, what Shyamalan does is he does an inversion of the disaster movie. So like what in those films, where, it's like kind of a slow build to like the big event. This movie opens with the big event and then gets slower as it goes on. And that seems very clearly intentional on Shyamalan's part, but whether it works or not, that's debatable.
It's like just dying a slow death over the course of the film.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of are waiting, like, there's I don't know if you would call it an epilogue, but you're kind of waiting for the big, like, if you look at it like a disaster movie, and then if you look at it as, like, zombie movie, which, again, those two overlap a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say again, I haven't said that before, but those two things overlap for sure. You're kind of waiting for that, like, big, it's breached Philadelphia and now it's everywhere. Like, what was that one that came out that Julia Roberts, that horrible nightmare?
Oh, yes.
The Obama one.
The Netflix one.
We covered it.
We did cover it.
I can't even remember it.
Definitely covered it.
It's called, like, Don't Leave the House, otherwise something bad and meaty.
It's a big title. Yeah, exactly. I thought that movie was kind of fun, but...
It's fine. It's fine. I think it's, like, bad, but I still really enjoyed watching it. It's like I had fun watching it, but I think it's really bad. But anyway... they're in a lot of ways very similar, but in that movie you're like, oh, the big event, like something it builds to this, like, well, I guess, I don't know, maybe not really.
Leave the world behind, by the way.
Yes, leave the world behind. There you go. There's no, like, other than in the end, but like it pretty much only happens in Philly until the end, where there's like an implication of a larger event.
And actually, though, because this is a movie too where like the event just ends, it actually really called to mind a lot of the reactions that Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds got when it came out a few years after this, where it's like, oh, like, what do you mean they just stop? Ugh, like, that's so anticlimactic.
I do think if I was like, so many of the one-to-one lines to me are War of the Worlds with this movie. For better or for worse, there's so many disaster movies. I love many of them, but I think War of the Worlds is the most one-to-one.
Yeah, I
think
so
not
too.
in, like, again, not in a quality way, but like in a structure way.
Also, I'm really stupid. War of the Worlds was 3 years before this.
That's what I thought, and I was having a moment of like, wow, that was after.
No, I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, that was 2012. It's 2005.
Oh my God. What is time, right?
I was gonna be like, there is no way War of the Worlds followed this, but I'm like, he knows his stuff.
But I do, I mean, because that was my introduction to the IP of War of the Worlds, so I didn't know anything. I didn't know that was happening in the book. But I remember, because I worked at a movie theater at that time, where so many people were so pissed at the ending of that movie, because it's very anticlimactic.
Disagree.
Whereas I would also say the other ending that feels a little anticlimactic, but actually is even closer to this wheelhouse, because it's also directed by M. Night, is his own film Signs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's a pretty valid
Very
comparison.
similar. Very similar.
Okay. Well, Joe, what happens in The Happening?
What is the event in The Happening? Yes.
Talk about this opening credits that is just sky for like 2 minutes.
I will not. I just wrote, following stormy credits, the action opens in Central Park.
What's with the storm? What's with the storm? At the end, it ends with the storm too. For what?
It's a metaphor.
No, it's because that's how you know Mother Nature is gearing up for another round of this bullshit.
I guess.
Okay,
She
fine.
made. She made. Anyway, it's 8:33 a.m. I love that we sometimes get time markers, and it's because technically this is a film that takes place over the course of about 24 hours.
But hey, and again, these time markers with the location, the time, again, that's a disaster movie hallmark, which works better when you're tracking like 10 different locations, like Independence Day does. But the problem is we have New York City and Philadelphia.
Because this is a northeast corner only disaster, and we will make a plot point out of it.
Actually, that's what Day After Tomorrow was too. Remember, it's just like the top half of the United States.
Right.
I remember thinking like, oh, we're in Texas, we're safe. Canada's fucked.
I was going to say, Lindsay and I just died in that ice age. The wolves probably got us.
Nothing bad ever happens in the South.
No, never. Nothing bad ever happens in the South.
Nothing nature-based, only man-based.
Sure. Yeah, okay. Okay, so as the wind blows, this pissed me off. It's fucking Kristen Connolly, but she's her character, woman reading on bench.
Okay, but she's not famous. I mean, okay, Lindsay, I feel like, because I did not remember this person was in this movie, but to me, the biggest, like, oh my god, this guy's in this movie is Jeremy Strong.
Not only Jeremy Strong, which is the biggest WTF, but of course we don't know who he is yet, but also his Succession co-star early in the film.
Alan Ruck. Yeah.
Oh my god, who shows up for 2 lines of dialogue?
Yeah, vice principal. We're closing the school. Bye.
What an interesting career Alan Ruck has had.
Arguably more famous at that time.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, because he's the Ferris Bueller guy. I will say, though, I mean, yeah, Kristen Connolly has nothing to do in this. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, she opens the movie.
She does.
I think the first 10 minutes of this movie are genuinely good.
Yeah, so she's sitting there on this bench, and she's got a friend who I'm pretty sure she calls Claire, but she is unnamed in the credits, apparently. But this role is played by Alison Folan, and Claire just starts repeating this same phrase about how she's lost her place in this book, and then when woman reading on bench looks around, everybody is frozen. And like, this is good stuff. This is catnip for horror fodder. And then Claire kills herself with her hairpin. And then Julia DeCorno says, I'm going to use that later. And in my mind, I had remembered her stabbing herself a bunch. Like, I pre-wrote my notes before she did it. And I was like, oh, she stabbed herself a bunch on the neck. And I was like, oh, nope, it's just one slow stab. And we move on to 3 blocks from Central Park, New York City, 8:59 a.m. Indeed. So I feel like this was all over the trailers for this movie, was these construction bodies falling off of the roof. And I gotta say, I mean, the POV from below as the bodies just fall towards us, fucking great.
Yeah. It's a really, like, if there's one thing Shyamalan is good at in this movie, I think it's imagery. Like, there are some really, like, there are some images that you walk away from this movie that are really stuck in your head. And I think the earlier scenes are the most memorable because the comedy hasn't come in yet.
Right. We haven't been corrupted yet.
Yeah.
My take is that I think the construction, whatever, is so much stronger, and I wish it was the cold open.
Oh, instead of the park bench?
Yeah, I think the people freezing is interesting, but I think, like, if I'm giving flowers to anybody in this movie, the guy, and I probably should have looked it up, but the guy who turns around and says, like, I can't remember, he says, like, oh no, Mackenzie fell.
Oh, yeah.
That delivery gives my whole body a, like, holy shit. He delivers that so well, because he just goes from, like, cartoon construction, like, hey guys, let's all have beer and catcall vibe, to just being like, oh my god, Mackenzie fell. And it's so scary and so strong. And then somebody else falls. Terrifying.
Yeah, and it's just the sounds. Because I think, too, on a first viewing, I was actually disappointed because I was like, okay, we have Shyamalan's first R-rated film, and I don't think he goes for it that hard. Like, this...
That's what I'm saying, where I'm like, why is this R-rated? Like, for what? Like, it's more sound, and then you see his, like, mangled body. It's pretty scary, but it's not, like...
It's not that bad.
No. I can tell you, it is the lion sequence. I can almost guarantee you, because we do see an arm get pulled.
Yeah.
But again, but I think to me the biggest like cop out of a death scene in this movie is the man that sits under the big lawnmower.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. You see a half second, a fraction of a second of CGI blood popping out of this lawnmower.
Yeah, blink and you miss it.
And I'm like, why aren't we focusing on this? And I still find that frustrating to this day. I'm like, if you have the R rating, just fucking go for it.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, like, of the death, like, okay, I guess the zoo scene, whatever, but I don't know. But I just think to me, the first cold open with the women on the bench, you know what time it is. You know what I mean? You're like, well, not only because I told you it was 8:33, but we know what's going on.
Right.
Whereas in the construction scene, one guy falls, and you're like, oh my god, what happened? Someone fell.
Right.
And it's like, another guy falls, and you're like, whoa, 2 guys fell, and then it's this like onslaught of them all falling. I think it would have been so much stronger if when that first guy fell, we still didn't know what was going on.
Well, and actually, I think it would have been cool too, is because we're 3 blocks away from Central Park, as the subtitle helpfully tells us. If we instead did this kind of like not a crane shot, but what the equivalent of a drone shot would be today, where we like go up from the construction site and then go over 3 blocks, and we see an overhead shot of everyone, like little ants, just being completely still and not moving, and then we zoom in on the park bench.
So like CSI New York.
Yeah. Which would have been on at the time.
Wait. Shall we do it? Yeah!
No, that's Miami.
That's Miami.
I don't care. Also, Lindsay, the man you were looking to highlight is actor Cornell Womack. That's the construction foreman.
Thank you. I just think that delivery is like...
It's good.
Whoa.
It's chilling. It is chilling. Mm-hmm.
Okay, not chilling. Cut to biology teacher Elliot Moore, who is played by Mark Wahlberg, and he is talking about the disappearance of honeybees around the country. And after encouraging Hot Jake with the perfect face, who is played by Robert Lindsay, basically to say, hey, you're pretty, but you should still kind of care about the environment and other things, Elliot ends up explaining that we may never understand the answer for what happened to the bees, and we need to be in awe of nature, laying it all out.
Sorry.
Oh, bee movie!
Oh, that was,
Get it?
yeah.
Also,
Oh my
Insert
God.
Jerry Seinfeld joke.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like, who came first? Was it Jerry saying bee movie about a bee? Or was it Shyamalan mentioning bees in his bee movie?
I think B movie was B movie was 07, so the year before this.
Shit.
Oh my god! So Shyamalan probably saw B movie and was like, so he didn't come up with this idea when he was driving on the highway, like he said. He was watching B movie.
There we go.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, Mark Wahlberg's delivery of it might look downright whack 10 years from now.
Deranged.
Oscar worthy.
Absurd. It's just absurd.
I mean, I will say,
Everything
I think we've all probably had teachers say worse things to students, but like, this is such a bizarre, like, it actually made me uncomfortable for him to be like, your perfectly beautiful symmetrical face.
I just like
don't.
Wahlberg. I think that the thing is too, like, both Wahlberg and Deschanel, they operate on one level for the entire movie.
Yeah.
But they're also at different levels from each other, so it doesn't even feel consistent when they share a scene together. You're just like, oh god, you're in 2 different movies and they're both awful.
But it's like, even in this scene, like, Mark Wahlberg is bewildered. That is his point for the entire film.
But that's him in like
90% of his movies.
Films. Bewildered and a bit out of breath is kind of his like, if someone was like coaching you to do an impression of him without telling you what you were doing, it would be bewildered and a little bit out of breath.
Well, either way, that's what he's doing for this entire movie. I mean, like, and again, I was trying to think, because I was like, well, if I was gonna, because again, I have no big issue with Mark Wahlberg's acting for the most part, but if you were to say, okay, Trace, what's a really good Mark Wahlberg performance? I feel like the go-to is always Boogie Nights, but even that, I'm just kind of like, but he's not, I mean, he's the star, but he's not the star.
He's not the lead. Oh, yeah, like when you think of that film, you're not like, oh my god, yes, Mark Wahlberg. You're like, oh right, that was a director who took a chance on Mark Wahlberg and surrounded him by some of the best ensemble cast we ever have, and also Tom Cruise doing a surprisingly magnetic job.
I do think that Wahlberg is better at being a comedian than he is at being a dramatic actor.
Also, not me confusing Magnolia and Boogie Nights, so fire me into the sun.
I was literally like, first, I was told War of the Worlds happened after. Now Tom Cruise is in Boogie Nights.
Can you imagine? He's just like, oh, you know what? He's the penis.
I was like, of all my fandoms, I was like, I don't know anything about anything, apparently. If I don't know Tom Cruise movies, I don't know anything.
At least we both of us caught ourselves. I was
Yo,
like,
bro, you didn't see Tom Cruise in Boogie Nights, bro? Come on.
I was like, what?
I maintain, though, I still really like both of the Ted movies. I think they're very fun. But I think that Mark
It's a better
Wahlberg's
wheelhouse for him.
Well, it's better when he's setting up kind of his public persona than when he's emulating his public persona.
Right, or trying to act and not being able to.
Which is emulating his public persona.
He's like, I can't even be a human being. It's challenging to be Mark Wahlberg.
I mean, he's good in Fear.
He's good in Fear. Yeah.
He's really great in The Departed, but he doesn't do a lot of dramatic heavy lifting. He just, but he definitely plays a different version of himself where he's like funny and yelly and.
Well, but that was the thing though. In that bit where he like criticized this movie, he said, "Well, I wanted to be a science teacher. At least I wasn't a cop or a crook." And also, I mean, yeah, you know what? Valid point.
I felt like it was the only time anyone was ever going to cast him as a science teacher, because you don't look at Mark Wahlberg and think, there's somebody who knows science.
Just the Hollywood effect.
I'm just saying, like, I think I made a Christmas Jones comment earlier in some other episode with you, Trace, but I'm like, yeah, like him and Christmas Jones are just hanging out in the Bad Scientist Club.
I'm sorry. We can have an entire conversation. We'll just have to cover The World's Not Enough because, I mean, like, yes, no one looks at Denise Richards and sees astrophysicists, but like, why? There's so many other examples of situations like that in Hollywood cinema. Well, why are we just so focused on Denise Richards in that movie?
It's a James Bond movie. It's intentionally berserk casting.
Yes,
that's the point.
yes.
I love
super
it.
hot
I love
for no
it.
reason. That's not a good example. The better example is it Ray Ferrier? Is Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds. That's the example.
Oh.
He's way too hot to be a loser.
Well, actually, Lindsay, shout out to the Patreon this month, or Tom Cruise in the 2017 Mummy, where he's supposed to be a womanizing bad boy, and you're just like, X.
He's really, he is miscast in that movie, hardcore.
Did you know my cell phone ringtone is the isolated him, or not my ringtone, my text message sound, but I never have my sounds on, is him yelling that like, "Wah!" on the plane.
That tracks for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're still in the first 10 minutes of this movie, so I'm going to move us on.
Blowing through it.
At an emergency faculty meeting, yes, Principal Alan Ruck elaborates on the suspected airborne terrorist attack in Central Park, and we get a 3-stage symptom sign. So stage 1, confused speech. Stage 2, disorientation. Stage 3, fatal. I was like, that is a bizarre escalation.
Yeah,
bizarre.
But either way, though, okay, they say fatal. I'm like, why don't you just say, then you kill yourself?
Yeah.
Because I don't think they would have known. Because no one...
Oh, no one survived.
No one could report that. I mean, no one could report any of that, technically. Because I thought the same thing, but then I was like, well, I guess no one could report it if they saw it.
Right.
But then I guess, arguably...
Yeah, if they don't have enough information for stage 3, then they shouldn't have enough information for stage 1 or 2.
Stage 1 and 2. Yeah, you're right.
I guess I would have just thought stage 3, death. Fatal is such a specific word choice. It sounds like it could be murder or suicide.
Well, because fatal implies... Okay, so what is fatal? Like, stage 3 is fatal, but like, what is fatal about it?
Yeah, it's also an adjective, not a like...
Yeah.
Not a like... Whatever. It's like a random adjective. Like, it is fatal. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Like,
stage 3 would be death. It wouldn't be...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's a Shyamalan-ism that does not work.
Well, and one of the other weird things, and I'm going to argue in support of your defense, Lindsay, the rule of 3s for comedy, because we've got this 3 bizarreness, and then as the students file out of the classroom because school is dismissed, send the kids home, to which I was like, what? We're just going to send the kids out and hope they don't murder each other or die? Sure, okay. I admit, I know we're not in New York, but it's significant enough that we're going to send the kids home, but none of the teachers care about them. Anyway, as they stroll out of this classroom, we ask them to repeat the rules of scientific experiments. And it's not 3 rules, but the way we say it is first, identify variables, design the experiment, careful observation and measurement, interpretation of experiential data.
I mean, well, that's just a Chekhov's mention, though, because Mark Wahlberg is going to have to do that exact thing later.
I know. In a context of one of the things that I'm obsessed with about this movie is that it uses the word science for just like anything. And it also uses the word math. Like, he's a math teacher, so he's like an expert in statistics.
Well, no. Wahlberg is the science teacher.
No, that's what I'm saying. And then
he's saying John Leguizamo.
I'm saying like both of them makes no sense. He's a science teacher, so he's like, you should care about the bees because also you're gonna age. Like, what? Because both of those things are science.
Yeah.
And then John Leguizamo's like, I'm the math teacher. We have a 67% chance. I'm like, that's stats, dude.
Yeah.
Like... What are we doing?
And then he's giving math riddles out later as if he can just rail both Freudian euphemisms, as if he can just do, advanced multiplication in your head at the drop of a hat. And you're just like, it's giving I work in business at the business company.
Well, but that's the thing, though. So John Leguizamo's Julian is a math teacher whose only character trait is that he does math.
Yeah.
Correct.
And, I'm sorry, telling...
And hates Alma.
Well, okay, so do we know
Doesn't
how
trust.
long Elliot and Alma have been married at this point?
No.
Okay, because one of the first things that Julian tells Elliot is, oh, I saw Alma on your wedding day. I walked into a waiting room by mistake and she was crying. And I'm like, did this
that
not
last
come up
week?
before? Yeah, when was this? Like,
It makes no sense. That whole scene is so berserk, but I do subscribe to that it didn't come up because it's not, he doesn't bring it up until Mark Wahlberg says,
We're having problems.
yeah. And he's being like, I knew you would have problems because this happened.
But that's
Even
not
though
a
it
good
makes,
friend.
like,
That's
no
not a good
sense.
friend, because if my friend told me that about my husband, I'd be like, and you're telling me now?
I'm sorry. I can think of a lot of brides that cried before their wedding, and I don't
Sure.
trust my random guy friend who accidentally walked in on her and caught a glance to be able to, like, figure out the subtext of that crying. I saw her face. She wasn't ready.
I get that, but Leguizamo's like tone here is, oh yeah, I saw this coming. Like that tone.
100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like it makes. I'm just like it just contributes to the nonsense of it all. So I'm like, what did you see, dude? Like you saw a bride crying in 1 second when you accidentally peeked into her room. Like that doesn't tell me anything.
But I do love this because Elliot basically tells me, oh yeah, like Alma's acting very distant and off. And then we just cut to Zooey Deschanel's blank-eyed stare.
Yeah, full David Putty just staring at nothing.
Yeah, she's trying to avoid calls from Joey, and we will eventually hear that this is voiced by the director M. Night. But did everybody catch that these messages are coming in on a Motorola fucking Razor?
Yeah, the Razor.
Razor.
I miss my Razor so much, y'all. I open and close that thing so fucking much, and it never broke. Oh, it was so
Yeah,
good.
how did they not snap all the fucking
I
time?
know. Can we talk about why he chose to call her Alma?
Why,
I mean-
is there a reason or?
No, like it is
Oh,
not a name that suits Zooey Deschanel, and I would argue Elliot does not suit Mark Wahlberg.
But
either.
But
Elliot sounds semi-modern. Alma does not sound like a name. I mean, granted, but when was Zooey Deschanel born? Probably in the 70s.
No, I don't think she's that old, Trace.
No, it's probably in the 80s.
Oh my
Probably like
God.
82.
Oh,
She's
no.
probably my age.
80,
Yeah.
1980 on the dot. So
There we
like,
go.
Oh, okay.
Split the difference.
Okay.
But I hear you. It sounds like she should be churning butter with
in Kansas.
Lemon Lady.
I just
Yeah.
like, how does this girl end up in New York City?
No, they're not.
She
No,
escaped
they're
her repressive Mormon upbringing so that she could go to the big city.
Philadelphia. You're right, Lindsay. I'm sorry.
God, and a Shyamalan movie nonetheless.
I know. Again, not important. I just, like, again, I'm like, Alma? Like, and Zooey Deschanel doesn't look like an Alma at all.
No. It's so bad. Also super bad is when, so Elliot has gone to Alma at their house and he says, Julian wants us to leave the city with him, so that's what we're going to do. And they're watching this news report about how the toxins block neurotransmitters. And you're like, okay, piecing it together. Interesting. And then Alma just turns to him and says, it makes you kill yourself just when you thought there couldn't be any more evil that could be invented.
Yeah, like
What?
But again, I feel like that is like, again, stealthily referring, or maybe not stealthily referring to 9/11.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. First of all, M. Night loves a newscast. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
he does.
God.
The man is the king of the newscast. And he's also the king of the nonsense newscast, where you're like, how do they know this? How did they get this on film? Like,
Oh my
another of my
God.
favorite comedy moments of the past, however many years it's been.
Knock at the
was,
cabin with that
yeah!
fucking plane.
No, first of all, forget the plane. The part where someone's got their cell phone and they're like videotaping a wave, and then they just turn it to the
Yes.
side, and it's like full HD video, while like it's like not shaky, and like everyone's like dying and screaming in this wave, and he's just like recording it on his cell phone for the news. Like
Yeah.
bizarre.
Thank God I got my Steadicam on for this
Yeah.
final moment of my life. Folks,
But
we
it
also
works.
have an episode on that disaster. I know
Great.
people like it. Dave Bautista, innocent. Everything else, punted into the sun.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie.
Favorite funny moment though from the King of Comedy, M. Night Shyamalan, because it makes no sense. So the man loves a newscast for
Mhm.
exposition, but it also, again, in like post 9/11 I mean, whatever. Post 9/11 films, we'll just use that like broadly.
Sure.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like people watching the news.
Well, and you have Zooey Deschanel again, her blank-eyed stare, just like, oh. Like,
I'm so desensitized to everything in the wake of 9/11.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So they go to the train station to meet Julian and his daughter Jess, who is played by Ashlyn Sanchez. And this is when we learn that Julian's wife, Yvette, is stuck in traffic. So they're going to try to meet up with her later. We get another, you were right, Lindsay, king of the newscast. So we get a giant newscast in the train station that confirms that the toxin is natural. So, not cooked up in a lab, probably not terrorism.
I will say, too, the government or the scientists, whoever, they're figuring this all out really quickly. Because what? This is
super quick.
Maybe, well, but at this
is
moment,
like 1 hour.
No time, the whole movie's 24 hours.
Yeah, but at this point, we're maybe 2 hours into this thing, into this event. And then, so, okay, because we have some animosity between Alma and Julian here. Of course, we didn't like her. But then Alma gets really pissed off at Elliot. She's like, oh, you told him we had a fight, blah, blah, blah. And she makes this statement about how like she doesn't like to show her emotions to people.
Yes.
Finish with that.
I'm going to say this first because we might have to cut it out. But is she coded autistic?
Oh, I don't know. I definitely don't have enough insight. I do think that's possible. I always read it as her like driving home that she's in a B movie. Like I read it as her looking at me and saying, "I'm going to be emotionless for this movie."
Mm-hmm.
But maybe because they do. Maybe I don't know. I guess I never thought of it.
Well, because she has a moment later in the film with Jess, too, where she's like, oh, I don't like showing my feelings either, because Jess doesn't really talk for a lot of this movie. And it's a bonding moment between them. And I thought, oh, that would be kind of like interesting if it was like, oh, they both have like, like they're on the spectrum in some shape, way, or form, and they're bonding over that. But I mean, again, the movie doesn't ever give us any concrete details on that. But I'm getting this just from the performance.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's one of those things I haven't thought about it, but I do think that it's apt because it's like, yeah, it does seem like something that like they want to bond over, that they're different.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, I think the reason to not read it that way is because as the film progresses, we learn that one of the issues that is dividing Elliot and Alma is that she doesn't want to have kids, or that she wanted to wait. And it kind of seems like that is part of the reason she doesn't like to show or elaborate on her feelings, is because she doesn't know how to process that, or she doesn't know how to help him understand.
But she eventually kind of goes into the whole, it's a thing where, oh, the world is so evil, why would I want to bring children into this world? So again, that to me is going into the whole 9/11 thing, like the state of the world after that. Like that's
right.
But I get that, but then the other part of it seems to be, oh, she doesn't know how to connect with children, which is why we have to have Jess here to help her on her. So I think that's Alma's arc, which makes me even more angry then, because you know how much I hate, like, oh, like the woman's arc is learning to be a good mother, learning to love children, but that's kind of what we're doing here.
Oh, well, this whole movie is let's get a bunch of people to latch onto this couple. And then by the end of the film, we have killed off any barrier to them adopting this child and becoming the appropriate nuclear heteronormative family. So yay, balance restored.
Yeah, the happy ending is...
It's baffling.
It does not feel earned at all.
No. It's odd.
It's more like, oh my God, we got saddled with my dead best friend's child, and I guess now we have to raise her because she has no one else.
But then with the pregnancy test,
I hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
And then I'm like, oh my God, y'all just adopted a kid, now you're gonna have another one? Like, Jesus Christ.
It's a big pivot. Like, all of that happened, and they're like, now we're a family of 4.
And she doesn't even have a fucking job because she doesn't do anything, because who is Alma?
She's probably got a farm somewhere.
No, she has a job because she says... No, she has a job because she knows Joey from work.
Right. Even though he works in Boston, because he's the one who tells her that there was an attack there. So you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, but whatever. But
it's
whatever.
Fine. It's fine.
Maybe I don't know. We know that Joey's a guy from work.
That is true. Yes, she has a job. She works in business. She's a business lady.
She has a job such that she was at home during the school day, which the school day ends at like 3. But she has a job such that she was at home with a bag watching the news when he went home from school early.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's not important. It's not important.
It's not important. Okay. So, yes, she does not like that Elliot was talking about her personal problem. So she decides she's going to go sit in a different car on this train. There's a huge incident happening, and she's just like, I'm going to go sit somewhere else.
And she's like, well, we're probably not going to be able to sit together anyway. And you cut to the train and there's empty seats everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Also, okay, again, not to like, I know we've made it like 1 minute into this movie and I won't
No,
all this.
do it.
Would you, maybe this is like one of those things where it's like, oh, you have high standards because of like whatever. If my husband got on that train without me, like how Leguizamo does.
Divorce.
Divorce.
Yeah. Like,
Divorce.
Like,
I know he ends up doing what he does, and so I understand why it had to happen for the sake of the movie. But let me tell you, I'd be like, you will wait for me.
Yeah.
Even with the kid. Send the kid. You will wait for me.
Yeah. But I'm assuming the kid is the reason why he gets on the train.
I know. It's like you have to headcanon that his wife was like, take our kid and go.
Yeah, get her out of the city or something.
But it's just you, Lindsay, as a woman, who you're just like,
oh, woman.
Fuck that kid.
I'm telling you now, divorce. I'd be like, you MF. Well, it's because I'm so crazy as a woman. I'd be so mad.
Where's that natural maternal instinct you women are supposed to have?
Oh my
no,
God,
I'm like,
stop.
No, F them kids. I'm like, what do you mean our kid?
Drop the kid and wait for me is what I'm saying.
Yeah, send the kid with your friends, with your fighting friends when you adopt her, and come get me. No, I don't know. But I would struggle with being like, I'll catch you later, hubs.
Yeah.
I guess the real question is, so at this point, there's still only been the isolated attacks in New York City, and they're in Philadelphia, so they're just default assuming that something big is happening, so they're trying to get out of a populated area, right?
Yeah.
But still, is the implication meant to be that Yvette is scared? Like, wouldn't you be concerned that you might not be able to get back together again down the road? Like, that's my big issue.
Like, they don't know. Yeah, exactly. They don't know that there's something to evacuate for exactly just yet.
They're just trying to get further away from New York City.
Right. Which does make sense. But then, I don't know, if we're comparing, like, what happened when we all experienced, like, well, we didn't all experience it, but we all, like, know, we have our memories of what it felt like when 9/11 happened, I guess. And I don't know, again, like looking at like War of the Worlds or whatever, but I get it. Like you got to get out of there and get out of the pub. Like you want to leave. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's as like I wouldn't expect that you're going to find each other again. I would be like, just wait. We're not like, we'll leave together. Because at that point, I don't think they have that level of urgency just yet.
And we've seen another instance of this in other movies. Like I'm telling you, there have been other disaster movies where it's like, take the baby, or Titanic even,
right.
You know? Like something like that.
Yes. Yeah, take the kid and run. I don't know. I just don't feel like they would have had that urgency yet. Like, I always think, like, whenever you watch, like, zombie movies and, you know, what people do, I'm always like, I don't know, like, I feel like my first instinct would be, like, to stay put.
Yeah, like, go to the emergency evacuation spot that we decided we would meet at if something ever happened.
Well, and again, remember, it's been maybe 2 hours since the bench scene of the opening of the movie. So, like, imagine, like, right now, you're in Toronto, you hear, okay, New York had an attack, some people are dying.
Like, I'm not fleeing the city for that. Like, during 9/11, I went into my 9 a.m. class, I came out, and 9/11 had happened while I was in there watching a fucking movie, and people just sat, and we watched the news coverage until it was like, I can't keep watching this, and then I went home and just like stayed and hunkered down, and my roommates came and we all just kind of sat together and we all called our parents. But like, we didn't flee the city.
Well, I mean, but bear in mind, though, Philadelphia is a less than 2 hour drive away from New York City.
True.
So, like, it is a bit closer to home there. And also, I mean, again, every fucking disaster movie in New York is demolished. So, like,
that is true.
I wonder if people in Philadelphia, like, during their, like, you know, their drills in school for stuff, they're like, all right, everyone, no one's going to come for us first. But when New York
They're going to come for New York.
Run. We gotta go. I feel like it makes sense. I do think that what they did of, like, getting on the train, going to a more isolated area, I do think that choice makes sense.
Yeah.
I just don't think I would have that urgency such that I would like leave someone behind.
Right, like leave your wife behind. Because we're not seeing like stampedes right now. You know, everyone's just trying to get out, but we're not like, oh my God, I have to get on that train, or like, I'm going to die.
Yeah, like there's empty seats on the train, as you said. It's not as if we're trying to empty this entire city out. Clearly, some people said, no, it's fine, I'll wait.
But from this moment, then we cut to a street in Philadelphia, and I will say, I do think this is a really well shot sequence. I think it's a single take as the people are shooting themselves with the gun, and they keep, but it's all shot entirely from their feet angle. I love this. This is so good.
It's scary. I think that scene's really scary because you see that guy pull up in the car. Ooh, scary.
Yeah. I like this. I just don't like it when we then do it again later.
With a gun?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
right.
with-
In the field. Yeah. But we don't see that at least. So it's kind of like that's
Well, we
kind
don't
of
see this one either.
Well, no, you do. You see it from the feet angle. We are present
You see them fall.
with 3 people as they get killed. Whereas
I'm just saying it's the exact same sequence. We just see a little bit less of it later.
it is. That's why I think that's why we had this scene here. So it's like it's going to happen again later. We don't need to show you the scene later, even though I would have totally liked to have seen it. But we witness the field shooting from Elliot and Alma's perspective. So we know what's happening, even though I love it. They keep hearing gunshots and they're like, what's happening? Should we go help them?
Oh, no, we're going to get to that. We're going to unpack that in like a 10-minute discussion for sure. Okay, so we're on the train, and this is where Jess reiterates to Joey that it was just tiramisu that they ate together, and that's it. Like, this is a plot point in this film. It is an ongoing arc for Alma.
She compares him to Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, because he won't stop calling. You're just like, that is a significant escalation.
He's calling out his cinema cohorts.
Truly.
Being like, that's the movie I'm making.
I guess it's another B movie to him, maybe.
I made a note of this too because I mean the score for this movie is I don't think particularly memorable because it's mostly pretty quiet except in random moments where it gets super bombastic over visuals that are not bombastic.
Mm-hmm.
So like I wrote very bombastic score with this train. I don't know what's happening on screen when this happens, but it's like a
I think it's just as the train is like leaving town or something,
but
right?
we do this.
That's when we're getting into the fold. Nothing's happened to them yet.
Yeah,
Now it's about to.
But this like this piece of bombastic score will recur like 2 or 3 or 4 more times throughout the film.
Yeah. Okay, so news about the Philadelphia attack spreads throughout the cars, and Elliot is perplexed because he hears that there's been another park involved, and that just seems like an odd location for a terrorist attack or some kind of big death sequence kind of thing. And then this is when Julian confirms that Yvette is headed to the town of Princeton. Not she's headed to Princeton. She's headed to the town of Princeton. Why so specific?
Wow.
Why so formal?
In case us silly Southerners who are very stupid and have no class don't know what that means.
Class.
Just so
I'd be
wild.
like, where's Princeton? The school
New
in
Jersey.
California? Oh.
Princeton, New Jersey.
I know.
California. Okay, that was
That was a
yours.
test.
They're
We were testing yours.
teachers.
That was yours.
I would mix it up with the school.
I get the War of the World snafu. Joe gets the Boogie Nights snafu, and you get the Princeton snafu.
There we
Dumb
go.
Canadian. We're dumb as Southerners.
It's comedy. It's the rule of 3.
It's rule 3. I feel like no, it's because I would just think she was going to the school. They're teachers. It would be confusing.
Princeton, the school is in the town of Princeton, New Jersey.
Okay, I'm supposed to know that.
What, did you go to Princeton or something?
I,
Because we
associate?
did.
That's why John Leguizamo has to say, "Let's go to the town of Princeton."
Well, I guess now we know. Now we've established
Now we
it.
know. What I'm saying is that the script is flawless, and y'all are just being mean. For no
Absolutely,
reason.
yes.
God. Okay, so we get word of another attack in Boston this time, and never mind how Alma knows that, Joey. And the train permanently stops in Filbert, and this makes Elliot irate. And so he approaches this train conductor and he goes, "Why are you giving me one useless piece of information at a time?"
It's self-awareness.
To be fair, though, like these conductors, like you figure, like one of them would be saying, "Okay, everyone, we're stopping here because we have lost contact with everyone. Go about your business, do whatever the fuck you want." But they're just like in their own little conductor huddle, talking to each other, ignoring all the passengers.
Because they're furthering the plot, and Mark Wahlberg is being like, or Elliot, I should say, is being like, "This is weird. This is a movie thing to do, not a real life thing to do."
Yeah.
Also, I do think in general, movies compared to like real life, although maybe it hasn't been tested, whatever. We're not all soldiers. Like if I'm a train conductor, man, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but
am I supposed to help you in this instance?
But-
I
Yeah,
don't
I'd
know
be like,
how
good
to.
luck. The world is ending for me too.
Yeah, but I still feel like it's like, okay, well, you've lost contact with everyone. If you are a train conductor and you stop the train and evacuate your train, also, isn't there an intercom? Can't they just say, "Hey, y'all,
Yeah.
we're pulling over because we've lost contact"?
No, they really do just like ditch everybody.
Yeah. They're 100% like, F these people. We've lost contact. I guess we're done. Our job is over.
Let's go to this diner over here and go pee.
Let's walk there, and then I'll drive away. Where did all those cars come
Oh
from?
my God. Okay. Yes. So first, let's acknowledge, I feel like this is a deliberate homage to the diner sequence in The Birds, right?
Oh.
Probably. To me, it was like diner scenes in disaster movies. There's always one in those sorts of movies,
And
I feel like.
Joe, you're probably spot on, though, because in Zooey Deschanel's defense of this film, where she was explaining, like, oh yeah, like, this is M. Night's, like, a very specific vision, she specifically name-dropped The Birds as something he was going for stylistically and, like, tonally.
Okay. Yeah. Because it kind of makes sense, right? Where sometimes we get together as a large group, but then when we do, we attract the birds in that movie. And here we attract
and
plant toxins.
And that's a movie that starts off as a romantic comedy, like screwball thing, and then it becomes a horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good point.
But, okay, aside from introducing Chekhov's mood ring, we can move on to the part where basically people realize, oh, we're at the epicenter of all of these attacks. We should get out of here. And then these 100 people who were on the train just milling about and then in this diner get into cars and drive away. Where did they get access to all of these fucking cars?
Well, everyone except for Elliot and Alma and Julian. Like, they're the ones that don't have the car.
Makes no sense. Everybody just peels out in cars, which again, it's like exactly like what happens in War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Right.
This is also when we get to when they watch the video of the tiger, and this line with this woman's like, "Mother of God, what kind of terrorists are these?" Which feels like it's supposed to be a joke.
It lands like a joke hardcore.
It's definitely a joke.
Yeah.
Because again, the man loves a newscast. We've had similar. It looks like the newscast in other movies of his, and it's so weird because again, much like what happens in Knock at the Cabin, it happens in Signs.
I think even Split, this felt reminiscent of Split, what he does later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The end of Split has a newscast for sure.
For sure. But like those like over the top, like the newscast in Signs is supposed to be the like big giant moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one in Leave the World Behind with the wave is like that big, like this feels like the big, how did somebody record this?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
And send it. Didn't they also?
Well, that is the thing, right? How can anyone be recording someone going through the suicide thing when they should also be affected by this?
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, I mean, maybe there's like a lot of greenery.
I mean, to be fair, though, like, and I will give this movie this, like, you know, the movie tries to throw a bunch of science at us as to why the plants are doing what they're doing and how they're doing what they're doing, but there's still so many unknown variables that, truthfully, even though I'm right now complaining about, well, how is someone filming the tiger, the lion attack, it's not really like that. It doesn't require that much suspension of disbelief, I think, because there's so many unknown variables to the event itself.
And also you
True,
just roll
never
with
wrapped
it.
up like it's never in a bow, which again, you know, we
comedy.
still don't know what happened in 2020, you know what I mean?
Theoretically, that should make it scarier, but I think most people find it more frustrating than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Leave the World Behind, we also don't get a definitive answer either.
That is true.
That
But
one's stupider.
I think in both films, people complain that they want something more definitive. But people always want answers. That's the most annoying thing. You're just like, the movie doesn't have to give you everything.
No, because it's scarier if you don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that was kind of like the idea, is that it was like, it was a natural disaster. Probably, but we don't actually know.
And how are the plans discerning between who to kill? The most we get is they're going for heavily populated areas. That's it. Like, I mean, oh man, do I wish we had a talking plant in this movie? Yes.
No.
I won't put it past M. Night. First he's like, oh, we're going to keep it real subtle with this alien on the news. And then he's just beating up an alien with a baseball bat. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
M. Night? He's not a king of subtlety.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
He's a king of comedy.
Yes. Okay, so let's introduce some new characters who will give us some of this exposition backstory and plant stuff. So Elliot manages to get them a ride with a nursery owner who is played by Frank Collison and his wife, who is played by Victoria Clark. And Julian leaves them behind at this point. So he's going to go after Yvette in the town of Princeton, which is in the South, as we have previously established.
I will say, I actually think that the best character in this movie is this male nursery owner.
Oh, he's great.
I really like this man's performance. It's very understated, but it feels very authentically real. And
well, it feels like a proper movie performance and not like, why have we miscast every other person?
Let's all calm down with the praise being thrown at dude who gives us that bizarre hot dog delivery, okay?
I mean...
Let's all ease up.
Lindsay, didn't it make you want to have a hot dog real bad?
I actually had a veggie dog yesterday.
Hey-o! Makes me want to have a hot dog real bad.
So yeah, it did work. He's right. Good shape.
There we go.
But no, let's all like chill with throwing praise on him like he had some like star-winning performance. It's bizarre.
I'm telling you though, I really like this character, and when he does eventually die, I felt robbed that we don't get to see it because I'm like, well, he's like an established character. I feel like we should see all of our established characters get killed, but whatever.
Right.
I agree.
But yeah, I like this man. He really captivated me in his few minutes of screen time.
Yeah, and I think he also does have some hard dialogue to sell, so I am never convinced by anything that Mark Wahlberg says about the plants or the toxins or anything like that. It sounds like Mark Wahlberg trying to move marbles around in his mouth, whereas this man says things like, plants can hear you, you should talk to them, you know, they'll respond to you with stimulants and stuff.
Okay, one line that I also thought was a bit like just a lot was whenever Julian decides to leave with these other people to go find Yvette, Alma grabs Jess's hand and Julian like grabs Alma.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
Dead stops the movie and goes, "Don't grab my daughter's hand unless you mean it." And I'm just like, what?
You child-hating whore.
Like, what? You know what it gives, but like in one of these movies it's self-aware. Well, no, I think in both it is. But it gives the like, a kiss can be deadly if you mean it.
Yeah.
Like Batman.
But that's a Batman movie. It makes sense.
And that's camp. That is high camp.
Yeah. Yeah, where you're like, is that supposed to be poetic? Like, what are we doing here?
I just love this idea of like, I'm going to leave my child with these people who are, I've already identified not good for each other and I don't trust this bitch. And then I'm going to be like, don't touch her unless you fucking mean it. Bye! Getting in the Jeep with the hole in the top.
Honestly.
Which again, could have all been alleviated if he just waited for his wife and sent the kid with them an hour ago.
And truthfully, in this situation, like, I think I would be taking my daughter with me to go get the wife.
I 100% think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But
now I will say one movie that does this, a very different tone, actually based in real life, though, is The Impossible, where Tom Holland gets left behind by his mom, Naomi Watts, so that she can go and look for the dad. And you're just like, you're leaving your child with strangers in the middle of a disaster. So, like, it's not out of the realm of the possible, but there was this moment in this movie where I just thought, Julian, you don't even like 50% of the people that you're leaving your child with, but sure, go off in the Jeep.
Almost 50% of the people.
Wow, he's pursuing a 62% chance that everything will be fine.
Oh, so stupid. When he's like, statistically, and it's like, what are you talking about? You wouldn't just know that because you can do math.
Yeah.
Let
like,
me just pull this
works.
stat out of my asshole and say it confidently.
And again, it's his only character. I'm sorry, he loves math and he loves his daughter. Those are his character traits. But
it doesn't make any sense that he's like, well, I'm so good at math that I know that there's only a 67% chance that Princeton's been hit.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I will say, I mean, I do give the movie credit for killing off John Leguizamo at the 30-minute mark of this movie.
Yeah, early and scary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I would argue that if you're not reading this movie as a comedy, that is a huge problem because John Leguizamo, great.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Leguizamo.
Did you
Yes.
mean Leguizamo?
Leguizamo.
I'm going home. I am home.
Hey, I think Mark Wahlberg called about racism. He said, "Hi, Joe." My buddy John Leguizamo said hi.
I mean, do I for 1 minute think that Mark Wahlberg was okay being like, she's not white. Do I have to adopt her at the end of this film? So,
Please.
Too much. I think it's a big issue that we lose Leguizamo. And I just think he's a great presence in any movie, right? And to lose him 1/3 of the way through this movie, sure, we do it with all of these characters, but he's just so recognizable, and I do find him very empathetic. And so, yeah, if you take the film at face value as an environmental horror film, it's a bad decision, I think.
Well, because I also don't think that his death rings comedy for me. Like, his death
No,
actually
not at
does
all.
read
It's scary.
tragedy.
His death is scary.
Yeah, exactly. And truthfully, I mean, like, the car crash itself and the two bodies, I mean, it looks really good, to be
It's
honest.
good.
And there is something just very, again, the mounting dread when he just walks out the car, kind of looks around, sits down. I love how far away we are. And truthfully, that is how Shyamalan shoots a lot of the death scenes moving forward, where we're just at a distance. This is where I find it the most effective, even though it is tonally off balance with everything that has come before.
Right.
Yeah, like, it's scary because all of the... I mean, we see it a lot. I mean, I do think his is the most simple. He's the most focused. Everyone else is able to kill themselves pretty fast.
Mhm.
Right.
And his is so scary because it's like he's really focused on it, and he's like in this like fugue state, and it's like slow, and that's what's so scary about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just... Other ways, they do seem faster, and they seem... like, okay, they're just not in their right minds. Whereas here, he takes the time to, look at the ground, consider the glass, sit down, take his time with it. And I think even the image of the hanged bodies as we're driving under is deeply
Scary.
upsetting.
But that's what I'm saying, though. There is some really haunting imagery in this movie that is very effective. And so that's why, like, even though I don't love this movie, like, I still give it a 2 out of 5 because I'm like, there are so many parts of this movie that do work.
That whole sequence, if we're going to talk about like tonal shifts, that whole scene is in War of the Worlds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole,
Yeah.
look at me, don't panic, look at me. It's literally like exactly what happens with Dakota Fanning and
Right.
what's his name? They do that exact thing.
The kid, yeah.
And it's happened in it happens in, oh god, whatever. It happens in a lot of movies, a lot of war movies. It happens in everywhere. It's like, don't look outside,
Mhm.
look at me, close your eyes, cover your ears, whatever. It like happens a lot, and then it's like the panic, and then is something going to get them?
Right.
And so like that to me, like that's a very disaster movie scene.
Mm-hmm.
To me that's stripped. Like even his weird math problem, it's so dumb, but it actually is like a really good distracting math problem. Like that's, to me, that's actual math. The rest of his stat stuff makes no sense, but the math actually like makes sense.
This is
in that
multiplication.
context.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense in that context. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that scene, if there's like a tonal mismatch, I would say it's there. But I like that scene.
Yeah.
I like the tone of that scene, but I see how that could be like a bit of a...
Yeah.
I'll confess, I think
Whiplash.
this is where the film ends as a horror film for me, like as a proper, this is good. There are effective sequences. Some of the performances are not gelling for me, but I'm still on board with it. And then at this point, we have to shift gears a little bit because we really have lost most of our main characters apart from our leads. And now we're going to just start introducing this rotating roster of people. And some of them are more interesting than others, but we're also now on the run permanently.
Well, and so enter Jeremy Strong as Private Oster coming up in this army vehicle.
Cheese and crackers. Cheese and crackers. Because it's an R-rated film, so we're not swearing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so we discover that we basically reach a intersection point and a bunch of cars arrive all at the same time, and there's no safe place to travel. So, cheese and crackers, what the fuck are we going to do? Abandon the vehicles, we're going to go out on foot, but because we've started to figure out maybe it's plant toxins, maybe it's the wind, large group sizes seem to be a determining factor, so we're going to split the group into 2, everybody.
But still, they still haven't, because Mark Wahlberg will eventually say, oh yeah, like they're going after bigger groups.
Mark Wahlberg's theories don't make sense. His execution of his experiment doesn't make any sense. His application of the scientific method.
Well, he didn't go through the whole thing, right?
Right. It doesn't make sense in this context, like literally at all. Like, what experiment is he doing? Like, nothing.
Yeah.
None of that. It's all nonsense, but...
I do think the sequence where we listen to the mom like talk to her daughter with the calculus shit, and the daughter
That's
clearly,
scary.
yeah, I think
It's
that's
good.
pretty scary. It did. I mean, this film obviously comes after this, but actually, I think one of the closest films, a modern film that we can talk about in relation to this movie, is Bird Box.
100%.
yes.
The whole time, I kept thinking, oh, we have a problem with that, but we all like Bird Box. Literally, that was my whole time. Because I don't think I've watched this since I watched Bird Box.
Right.
And the whole time I was watching it this week, I just kept thinking, oh, really? Bird Box is good, but y'all don't like The Happening?
I mean, it'd make for an interesting double bill or triple bill if you want to talk about the sequel as well. P.S. We have episodes on both of those movies as well. But Yeah, I think it's just the emotional register of Bird Box is, we're a proper horror film, even though there are some utterly ridiculous and also deeply upsetting moments in that film.
And it's also...
I'm being absolutely facetious.
It's still Sandra Bullock also trying to learn to be a good mother.
100%. You know what? It's always about learning to be a good mother during the apocalypse.
But that's a movie that I would say, and I do think the reason that works better than this movie, outside of the obvious, like, it's not funny, is that I think the human drama of that movie, specifically the human drama with Sandra Bullock's character and Danielle McDonald's character, I think that that works really, really well in that movie. Whereas, again, as I repeat, in this movie, none of the human drama works.
I'm being absolutely facetious. I totally understand why people like one movies and not the other. I'm just being a jerk. And I also, it was more that it just, like, made me laugh how Bird Box, like, entered the cultural lexicon for the, like, oh my god, I saw this horrible movie. It made me want a Bird Box. And I was like, damn.
I will say, too, I think the other reason that movie works is it's definitely the Sandra Bullock factor. Yeah. But I think it's also because that movie... at least in my mind, and I think it's been confirmed now over time after Netflix released viewing stats and that kind of stuff, I think it specifically targeted women. So the fact that its conflict was about women, motherhood, pregnancy, and all that kind of stuff, it actually makes sense for its audience. And I think the audience for an M. Night film at this point in 2008 is probably still young guys who are looking for the twist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, Zooey Deschanel talking about, now that we're out walking and we've got this moment, I'm going to tell you about my emotional tiramisu affair. And we've got, Mark Wahlberg going, you lied to me? You're just
like he's like this big hero because he lets it go.
Priorities.
and I'm honest. I mean, like, I know that some people are, like, really more averse to, like, cheating and, like, whatever. But to me, I'm like, okay, like, look, yeah, that kind of sucks that you went and had, like, a tiramisu date with your coworker. But, like... and that clearly does signal a trouble in the relationship, but that is not like a, what have you harlot?
Yeah, you had cake.
Yeah. I always just figured it was more just like, they're having problems. This is some, like, generic whatever.
The tiramisu was not just tiramisu.
Right.
Yeah, but then also, like, him quickly brushing it off, being like, I don't care, I love you, is also, like, that point. It's like that she was feeling guilty because it was part of them having problems. It wasn't the act.
Right, yeah.
And so she was feeling so guilty, and then he's like, girl, I do not care.
Yeah, people are killing themselves all around us. It's fine.
He's like, I do not give a shit. I'm happy that you feel like you absolved yourself, but, like, I am not mad, and this is all good.
Yeah, but later on, I'm going to make a joke about a really hot pharmacist.
Right. No, like, that to me, like, that's him being like, dude, I don't care. The hot pharmacist, it's like him being like, yeah, so I flirt with people. Who cares?
Like, it's not too soon. Like, we can laugh about it now.
Right. Yeah. Even though we should maybe be focusing on other things, like the fact that people are shooting themselves, because we're up to that scene where Private Oster is affected and we lose half of this group. And I think this is Deschanel's worst moment in terms of, or best if you want to read it as a comedy, where we can't just stand here as uninvolved observers. We're not assholes.
She looks into the camera when she says that, and she's like square framed.
Yeah. I mean, granted, the look into
literally deadpan.
Shyamalan does like to use the look into the camera, but he overuses it in this movie to where, like,
because it's a deadpan.
Yeah.
Well, and the camera is so tight on their fucking faces. We have to do something, and you've just got Mark Wahlberg filling the entire frame with his face. You're like,
excuse me, let me just clear. Because it's a deadpan.
And she's like, you have to go. Mark Wahlberg, you have to go help them. Like, what the fuck do you want him to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, like, no.
It is
They're all dead. What are we talking about?
Every person for himself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, it's over.
I mean, here's the thing. We will later find out that she and the fucking girl went into another house and then left all the doors and windows open. So I think she has some kind of
death wish,
suicidal ideation after this point. Well,
they do kind of hint that, like, she might be depressed.
Oh, she's definitely depressed. She's definitely depressed.
Yeah.
But this is when, Elliot does his, like, scientific method thing, and he's like, okay, well, they're targeting large groups of people, so we have to split up into even smaller groups, and this is where we get the infamous quote, let's just stay ahead of the wind.
Outrun it. And we should note, we just talked about The Mummy, and we talked a lot about that 99 The Mummy movie by Stephen Sommers. in the sequel, The Mummy Returns, there is a moment where they have to outrun the sun.
Yeah.
So we have been in Stupid Town before.
I will tell you that Roger Ebert's review of The Mummy Returns, he does the math as to like how fast they would actually be running if they were outrunning the sun, and it was something like obscene, like, you know, like 1,000,000 miles a second or something.
Oh, what? So Roger Ebert is like a math teacher now?
Yeah, he invited in John Leguizamo to do a quick math tutorial for his Mummy Returns review.
Anyway, all this to say, there's still 40 minutes left of this movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, keep going.
No, I'm not even trying to be like, it was more, I looked at this because I was like, we're outrunning the wind, and it's so stupid.
I mean,
there's 40 minutes left of this movie.
But here's the thing, though, because I was watching, I know that this scene is one of the big laughingstock scenes of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's a thing where I'm like, okay, but let's pretend like this was real, right? Plants are attacking us. There's something in the air that's the toxins. There is something scary about, okay, it's in the wind. There's no way you can really avoid it. You just have to hope that you don't get affected by it. Like, there is something inherently scary about that. And so, like, if I was in this position and this is what was happening to me, as silly as it sounds, what else would you do or say in this situation?
Okay, yes. You might be like, we have to run because if you're thinking of it's like pollen or like whatever, something like the plants are letting out such that the wind is carrying it towards you. Yes, you might want to run away from, like, you might not want to be downwind. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't say stay ahead of the wind. I might be like, get away from the plants.
From it.
Yeah.
Get away from the plants. Like, let's go inside. Let's close the windows. I wouldn't be like, oh no, it's the wind.
Yeah, like the amount of time that they continue to spend outdoors, even as they begin to speculate, it could be the grass, it could be trees. And you're just like, you keep stopping outside. Like, why aren't you immediately running full tilt towards the nearest house?
I'm also sorry, but like this whole thing of like, get inside, shut the door, shut the windows. I'm like, no house, no building is airtight.
No, we would all be suffocating.
Yes!
Yeah.
We would suffocate and our food smells would be in our house for 28 years.
Even the logic behind that, of like, oh, if I'm in a house with all the doors and windows shut, then I'm going to be safe. No, not at all.
It's a start. But it's a start. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
It's better than being out in the middle of an open field.
Yeah. It's like, it's better than nothing. Like, if someone said, like, there's an airborne toxin outside,
you would go inside.
You would still probably go inside and close the windows. Like, it's better than, I wouldn't be like, well, it's no different than standing outside. I'd be like, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Our mask wasn't airtight either, but it was still better than nothing.
Point taken.
Science, duh. Sorry.
I'm just saying that Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart are totally fine during this entire movie. They survived because they're in the panic room.
Not suffocating.
Yeah. Okay, so our group of 3 is actually a group of 5 because we have picked up 2 teenage boys by this point. So we have Jared, who is played by Robert Bailey Jr., and Josh, who is played by Spencer Breslin.
Yeah, I remember, because he didn't really have much of a career, but he was such a big kid actor with The Kid, and I was really excited to see him in this, and he has nothing to do except be here for a minute and then get shot, so.
They're my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the whole movie by, like, it's like not even close.
Okay.
Like the sequence where they get murdered, or the entire thing where they go to the model home?
The model home and then them getting murdered. I think like that's the best part of the movie.
I mean, the model home is, I think, one of the most clearly intentionally funny scenes of the movie.
Right?
It's so funny. I know you're going to get to the plant, but him with the wine glass is so funny.
Oh,
and
yeah.
How could anybody watch that and not know it's a comedy?
Yeah. Because he almost takes a drink of it like 3 times.
And he sniffs it when it's done.
Yeah.
And he's waving it around like it's like he's waving it around such that he obviously knows it's not a liquid because he's like throwing it around, like he's gesturing with it. Well, and then he still like smells it.
Yeah, in your Bloody article, you equated this to the phenomenon on television shows where people have cups of coffee and there's so clearly nothing in it because they're just waving it around like,
That's funny. Oh my god, I'm smart. I said that. See? I'm smart. It's true.
We didn't mention this back. Wait, I think it was with the nursery plant people, but like we get a very clear shot of the chemical plant stacks behind the house.
Yes, yeah.
And so but that is also paired with so many shots of like the trees blowing in the wind that we get throughout this movie. But before we get to this model home, there's a line that Alma has. They'll listen to the radio or something, and Alma's like, "Whatever it is, terrorists, a nuclear leak, plants."
Yeah, the top 3 things.
Yeah. It's like Family Feud. Top 3 things that could be happening here. Terrorist attack.
You get that one person that said plants.
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 Yes, okay. So in this model home sequence, there is a moment where Mark Wahlberg decides to take this guy's advice, talk to the plants because they might be listening, and lo and behold, it's a plastic plant.
So, okay, is this funny? Yes.
Yes.
Have I done something stupid like this in my life before, like talk to an inanimate object?
Yes.
Yes. So
Every 5 seconds.
even though I do, I mean, there's no way this isn't intentionally funny. This is very, I mean, honestly, I think that Mark Wahlberg's best line delivery in this movie is, "I'm talking to a plastic plant. I'm still doing it."
I agree.
Yeah.
This is where I think Mark Wahlberg
is in his element.
shines.
I can be this stupid. Oh, bro, I can be this dumb.
Yo, it's not a bad impression. I think that the whole, again, like that sequence with the plant, followed by the dinner table scene is so funny. Like that's when Mark Wahlberg to me is like, oh, I'm doing a bit. I'm doing shtick.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is that the kids in this scene, because the 2 boys are there and they don't react to any of this, like they don't seem in on the joke, and you're just like, why can't the movie ever just fully have all of its characters commit to a single tone in a single scene?
But I also love that, okay, like it's clearly obvious what this house is when we see like the fake wine glass, but like when they run out of the house, we have the pan down to the sign that says model home on it, and I'm like,
Get it?
I got it.
Yeah, we figured that out.
Yeah.
Why is everything fake? And the movie's like, surprise, twist, it was a model home.
That's the twist. It was a model home.
This whole movie is fake.
The Shyamalan twist.
Yeah. Okay, so, we leave this model home because, we should also note, this is when the lawnmower sequence does happen. So they flee in part because there's a large group appearing and then lawnmower.
This is also a disaster movie trope because the way it happens is they're on top of a hill and they see all these people like running into this neighborhood, and Wahlberg says something like, "There's too many people in the group," like that's, and they try to warn them, and again, that's so disaster movie, right? Like, oh my god, like there's that one group of people that's doing the wrong thing and they're about to die.
Or zombie film, as Lindsay said earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this all worked, and again, I still wish we could see the fucking guy get eaten by the lawnmower, or even multiple people, truly, but
right, they all just lay down in a line and we go over it.
Yeah.
But we do not. I will confess I missed the spray of CGI blood. I thought that we just get to see it go over his head, because that, to me, is the other sort of scary part, is that it goes over him head first.
Oh, wouldn't you rather it go over your head first?
I mean, yes, but also... Yeah. It's just,
I don't know.
There's something so awful about somebody getting their head taken off this way, as opposed to because I feel like whenever, we talked about this in Final Destination Bloodlines, when we thought we were going to get this, we talked about other films that have employed this, and it feels like usually you see them get it from the legs. Like it starts with the legs, and then they can't get out of it, and oh god.
Scream and
Yeah. All this to say, we end up running away, and this is when Elliot has to defend his lack of children to Josh and Jared, and he just stops at one point and goes, "Why are we talking about this?"
Says every person in the audience.
Exactly.
What are we doing? So this is when Alma declares that Jess needs a break because she's only 8 years old. She needs a breather. She needs some food. So we end up going, we had the joke about the hot pharmacist, and then we end up finding a house. So Jess briefly swings on a very ominously shot tree swing, and the boys decide to be teenage fucking boys, and they start trying to kick in the door and windows of this house.
I do gotta say though, like Alma seems to realize, because like every time she's pushing Jess on this swing, like she looks up because the tree branch is creaking, and she's like, "Oh, this. You've already established that it's most likely plants. Why are you gonna play God?
Risking it?
Yeah, and like do something that's hurting a plant."
But doesn't Elliot even fully say
Yeah, maybe don't.
Yeah, and looks at the tree I don't know about this.
Well, there you go.
I think that this is Alma trying actively to see if this little girl will die. She's like, you know what?
Oh my god,
if I push her too high, does she just die?
Honestly, I mean, because they've already got 2 more kids hitched to their wagon, so it's like we can't handle this. We got to knock one of these kids off.
Truly, we never signed out to be a family of 5. One of these kids has got to go.
I mean, because I got to tell you too, whenever we didn't see them decide how they were going to split up in that group before, but I was like, how did they get stuck with these 2 asshole kids?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Who are they?
Where do they come from? Why are there two
Were they in the
teenagers
diner?
traveling by
Who
themselves?
are they? Are they with the
Yeah.
soldier?
Who even
Where
are
did
you?
they
She doesn't even
come
go here.
I don't know these kids.
from? Who are these kids? They're literal cannon fodder.
Well, they are literally rifle fodder in this scene because we move into slow motion so that we can
Dude.
blow these kids away.
Okay, he like screams, Jared! And I'm like, you knew his
Who?
name?
Like Jess is crying, Alma is crying as we are like fleeing the premises, and I'm just like, you knew them for 2 seconds.
Okay, I don't need to know somebody to cry if I see someone get shot
No,
in the head.
okay, no,
I mean, fair, but-
I am saying though that a slow motion, like name calling like this needs to be like Alma getting shot if this is what we're doing with this sequence, not random kid number 2.
I mean, I was crying, but it was because tears were streaming down my face because I was laughing so hard at this kid just eating shit.
Well, because Jared, he like
Jared.
Spencer Breslin gets killed first. And to me, if I'm up against the window of this house and like someone next to me just gets shot, I am like reflexively like backing
hitting the
away
deck.
from the window.
Mhm.
And this kid just sits there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
do nothing.
waiting for my
But
time.
This is the zombie movie, the War of the World. It's like Tim Robbins in War of the Worlds. It's like the people are just as bad as the problem outside. You know what I mean? It's a zombie movie. It's like we're not afraid of the wind anymore. We're afraid of this broad with a shotgun.
Truly. Yeah, people were always the most dangerous thing. It wasn't the pollen or the toxins in the wind.
Just when you thought there couldn't be any more evil to be invented or whatever.
Oh my god, that is oof. I will say I get genuine pleasure when we get to this montage of different people in different towns watching a news report. So we go to Petersburg, Jacksonville, and Fairfield. But I love these two old ladies watching the television with the gas masks on.
Yes.
The gun hoarders, less so, but
A gas mask kind of makes sense. I feel like that's
100%.
As soon as I saw the soldier, I'm like, where's your gas mask, soldier?
Oh man, we didn't even talk about Jeremy Strong's line deliveries. You know, he's so infamous for his method. And part of me was like, did he study bad acting to go method for this? Because, oh boy.
My firearm is my friend. It will not leave my sight.
Well, that is
it's
normal.
Getting Full Metal Jacket, though.
Yeah.
It's like
That's the best part
top.
of his performance. It's when he first shows up and he's like, hey, y'all, where y'all going, y'all? I'm just like, well, okay.
Well, now you're just mocking Southerners.
Wow. Hold on. What have we said about Southerners so far?
I know. As a born and bred Southerner.
Born and bred. I'm sorry we didn't all go to Prancetown.
My aunts and uncles, I am Trice. Trice is what my name is.
Anyway.
Stop. You still tell me that you don't do whatever, I'm not doing it. Your accent that every time I say it, you're like, I don't do that. I'm like, okay.
Oh, well, it's so funny though, because like my when I was in high school, because I mean, I grew up in Texas, so it wasn't like the deep South. It was a suburb. It was Houston, Texas. But like all my friends are always like, "Oh my God, your parents have such thick accents," and I was like, "Really? I don't hear it at all."
Sure. But I mean, people can tell Lindsay and I that we have an accent, and we're going to say, well, we don't hear it at all.
Well, no, to me, it's not even an accent. They all have it just the way you say certain words. I mean, we all know the Canadian words, but...
Oh my God,
You're from the South.
Legamazano. Yes.
He's from the South. We're from the South.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're watching this news report, and it will provide some very helpful instruction that unfortunately Elliot and Alma will not hear, so they act stupid for the rest of the film. But for the rest of us, we understand that the event will be at its most sensitive the following morning, and then it could drop off very quickly.
Like, okay, sure, hypothesis.
Sure, guy on the TV. It took us like a year and a half to figure out there's a pandemic happening.
Right.
Okay.
And I guess that, I mean, they are right, because that's why like Mrs. Jones gets affected later by herself.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Because she's out there in the early morning.
Yeah.
She should have listened to Kendall Wallace, who was played by Edward James Highland. He knows what he's talking about. Okay, well, let's get to this seemingly abandoned house with no power that's completely disconnected. It's not on any map, we have been told earlier, to which everyone... That's another recurring joke that people have about this film is, you know, this realtor guy just says, there's an area that's in this county that's not even on the map. Nobody will know about it. And you're just like, I'm sorry, what?
Also, like, are houses frequently on maps?
I don't know.
It's just, yeah, it's baffling. Anyway, so they come up, and this is Mrs. Jones' house, played by M. Night's regular Betty Buckley, and we are eyeing her lemon drink.
So, yeah, why are you eyeing my lemon drink?
I don't find it that funny. I mean, here's the thing. I actually quite like Betty Buckley in this movie. I think that she's alternatively scary and also isolationist. You know, I see a person that we met during the pandemic, like the COVID pandemic. She reminds me of a bunch of people that we saw where it's just like, I don't really have a problem with you, but also get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, but to what Lindsay was saying earlier, which is like, yeah, this feels like it lasts forever, but it's probably like a 10-minute. I think it's actually like it's the last 20 minutes of the movie, basically. But like, every time I watch this, I'm like, God, I wish Mrs. Jones was like here for longer. Or like this felt like more of like an important segment, because this just feels like another stop on the road, but it's actually the secret climax of the movie.
Yes.
She needed to be the like 10 Cloverfield Lane, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
That would have been good. And instead, there's just something exorcisty about her. What?
I mean, she's just a recluse who doesn't even like have a TV or whatever. I think she has a radio or something. But like, yeah, it's, I don't know.
I love that the other telltale sign that there's something a little off about her is that she smacks Jess's hand when she reaches for a cookie.
This and that is,
and the other.
It's so jarring because you're like, what? And we give it like a moment to breathe, but then I just feel like we cut to the next scene and I'm like, wait. We're not going to unpack, because she tells the girl, don't touch things that aren't yours. And I'm like, we're not going to unpack this at all?
No. Like, neither of the two adults who are now technically the de facto parents of this child are going to say, hang on a moment, please don't slap our child.
No, but I mean, it's the, again, referencing 100 movies by referencing one, but it's the 28 Days Later where you're like, this sucks, but this is all we got.
Right. Yeah, we can't afford to piss this lady off because we need to be indoors in her rickety-ass cabin where the door does not actually close all the way at the bottom, and wind and pollen and toxins would absolutely come in.
You don't even know, but yeah, is it pollen? Is it a toxin? Like,
everyone just needed a reactant and it would have been fine, or whatever you call it, Zyrtec.
Right, yeah. Take an allergy medication and you will live through this event.
Yeah.
Okay, so this odd behavior does make Oma a little bit uncomfortable, so we end up whispering it in the dark later on, but of course this only draws Mrs. Jones' attention more, and she accuses them of plotting to steal from and or murder her, and again, it feels like this is a scene where we should let it breathe, or we should have a bit more to it, and instead we just immediately cut, and it's the next morning.
Well, but this is also when we get Mark Wahlberg's, What? No! And I'm like, sir, you are not being very convincing right now.
It's pretty funny, though.
So funny. And again, they make it like it's played as if like she's so paranoid.
Yeah.
But again, Tom Cruise fully kills Tim Robbins or whatever their character, Rafe fully kills Guy in War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
War of the World. What? Oh my God. You know what I mean?
No, this is wild. I have not thought about War of the Worlds this much in a very, very long time. Mostly because I do hate that
we don't
movie.
spend enough time together, I guess, because I think about that movie all the time.
But you are right. Mrs. Jones is the Tim Robbins character of this movie.
Yeah, she's right.
But,
for sure.
But the fact that this also doubles as the climax is just so... Again, this feels like it should just be another stop on the way to the climax. And it just...
It should have been earlier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tricky, right? Because in some ways, this movie is very anticlimactic. Like, we build all of this up to an emotional beat instead. It's all about the romance that we have not actually cared about because it's involving these two characters who are not real. They are so false and phony. But we also then don't have this big event to build up to. Like, I do think that Mrs. Jones, getting infected in the morning in her garden by herself and then coming and defenestrating herself multiple times like she's Jason fucking Voorhees.
Is it defenestration if you're throwing yourself into a window?
We already had this conversation on our most recent Friday the 13th, part 3 episode.
And the answer was yes.
Out. The answer is yes.
Okay, got it.
I'm still dealing with you asking me if houses are on a map. I feel like you asked me the sound of one hand clapping.
Yo, bro, are houses on a map?
I mean, if you're looking at like,
don't know.
if you're looking at like a suburb like planning map, then yeah, sure. But like for a regular city map, like it's roads. You're not looking.
I don't know.
They're not going to put individual houses on. Oh my god, fuck!
I don't think he was suggesting that
I'm not. No, I'm saying that I'm like having a reaction that I like. You said it, and I was like, "Whoa! If a tree falls in the woods,
it's an existential question."
Yeah.
Because I don't actually think that the realtor was suggesting that he could see individual houses on this map. He was suggesting that there's no big towns or cities in the county, and that's why they should head in that direction.
And apparently property plats, land surveys, and fire insurance maps often show specific building footprints
First
and
of
lot
all,
lines.
I don't have an accent. Fire insurance.
Insurance.
No, it's actually coming out thicker in just the last 5 minutes since we had the conversation.
Insurance.
Well, it's because
he's a lawyer from the big city talking about
if
insurance.
y'all could be around me when I'm around my family members, like my accent does come out
Tipped off,
100%. Yeah.
Always, yeah.
I say this like with I love accents. I'm saying this purely in a loving way because I love people's accents. And so when I hear it, I'm like, yay, do it more, do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Say insurance.
If someone ever mocked me for something like or like made fun of me or ribbed me like for like an accent, to me I'm like, yeah, that's just part of who I am. Like, but I'm not.
Exactly.
Accents are so cool.
I would only take offense to it if I was insecure about my accent. You know?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think accents are just like I think they're so cool. They're so magical. I think they're really. I love them.
Yeah.
So all of my ribbing of your number 10.
Listeners, let me know who has the stronger accent, me or Joe.
Oh my god, come on.
I'm curious.
Like that's a contest.
No, I think it is. No, I actually think it is now.
Oh, okay. Actually, challenge accepted, but we can't hear from any listeners in Canada or the US.
What?
What? No disrespect.
No, I'm suggesting because it's like I think I'd be curious to hear what people who don't have either of the two accents think.
No, sir. Because
not from Ontario or Texas.
Exactly.
Fine.
No. Louisiana, because people from my accent's
fine.
Louisianian, and
Fair,
people
fair,
from
fair.
Texas could always spot my Louisiana accent.
Oh god.
Okay, fair.
So this is super fascinating. I'm sure everyone who's listening totally cares. We're gonna move on.
Trust me, I will be cleaning up a lot of this in the edit.
Can't
Blame
wait.
it on the edit. Okay.
Okay, so yes, we have lost the missus of the house. She of the eyeing of the lemon. She's gone.
I wrote in my notes again, in all caps, this bombastic score.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense that it might be playing here because this does feel like a bit of an action-y
But the thing is, though, I think it happens after Mrs. Jones throws herself through the last window, defenestrates herself through the last window, and it's like when we're, again, looking at the trees and the wind outside, then we get this bombastic score coming in.
Yeah, well, because the windows are now open and the wind can just get in. Ah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we shut another door and it's fine. So Elliot then hears Jess and Alma playing, but he realizes, it's because of Chekhov's whatever underground connector thing because of the aforementioned slave house that we had out back. So they're secretly playing out there. We can hear them through this pipe. They have a whole conversation. He has to urge them to close the windows and the door. And I'm just like, where have these two dum-dums been this entire movie? I was so mad. It was all caps in my notes.
Alma's been trying to learn how to be a mother.
Which apparently means putting your child in danger immediately.
And we don't have to pick through this. Okay, literally, they're in this shed. They talk about the mood ring, which, Jesus Christ. And,
oh my God. It meant she was horny. Ha ha.
Which I'm like, there's a little girl right behind you.
Yeah. Just because she doesn't speak doesn't mean she's like not participating in communication.
I mean, she's not my daughter. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Her parents are dead. What the fuck?
She's seen enough. She watched like 50 guys like shoot themselves, throw themselves on things.
Truly.
Like, she's good. Horny. Big deal.
Let's not send this little girl to school in 3 months. Let's send her to therapy. Anyway, yes, we work out our issues. Oh, I wish I could be with you. You know what? I don't fucking care. I'm going to die by suicide. I'm just going to walk out into the field. You know what? Me too.
I mean, here's the thing. This would make sense if I feel like the past day had really worn them down that much to make him say, I'm just going to risk getting infected and do this. But I don't feel this from them.
Well, because we would have to feel something for them for this to feel like a grand romantic gesture. And instead, we've just been laughing at the movie the whole time.
Yeah.
So when we go for this saccharine, romantic, emotional beat, again, it just doesn't gel with the rest of the film.
Well, also, okay, I think it's a little ill-advised. I mean, Elliot walking out, sure, whatever. He's going to go try. But that Alma and Jess brings Jess out with her.
Mm-hmm.
If
I gotta go, I'm going to bring you too, kid.
Yeah, I'm like, why would you tempt fate like that? Why don't you see if Mark Wahlberg can make it to the shed? I mean, I guess it's supposed to be this family suicide thing where it's like, you know what, we're going to do this together. But also, that's not your child.
I'm telling you, she's been trying to kill this kid since the beginning.
Yeah, I'm reevaluating this now that you were like the tree.
The tree swing didn't work. What? This is my second best option.
Like, oh yeah, she left the window open. It's like
that's what I'm saying. She's been trying to kill this kid the whole time.
Yeah.
We have a new think piece. Like Zooey Deschanel's Alma is trying to kill this little girl for the entire movie.
No, it's like it's a postpartum story.
Yeah.
It's like it's dark.
Yeah.
It's bleak. Maybe this isn't. Oh my god, maybe this is pitch black bleak.
This is A24 territory now.
Whoa.
I just wish we could have gotten a god damn it from Alma whenever this little girl doesn't die. Every time she keeps trying to like
just
get the plants
a couple
killed. Fuck.
Like fist to the chin.
Run to your surrogate daddy, Jess. Run to your surrogate. Oh, fuck, she didn't die. Okay.
Damn.
She starts like pulling like grass off the ground and like throwing the blades of grass at Jess.
No, not even an allergic reaction? God damn it.
I'm sorry. This is like, I just want to say one thing we have to talk about it. But like, there is one scene earlier, again, when they're at that nursery plant and like, you know, they're finally realizing, oh, it's plants doing this. And we had that shot of when they're getting in the truck and it's when they come across all the bodies in the street and they are like, oh, we can't drive over these bodies for some reason. I'm like, well, they're dead.
Just drive over them. Yeah.
But like, you gotta go.
But Shyamalan really holds the camera on the tire as they back up into the grass and like speed over a bunch of greenery and like pull it out of the dirt. And it's like, oh,
you're hurting Mother Nature.
You're hurting the grass. You wouldn't hurt the people, which aren't nature, and you're hurting the grass.
Yes.
Well, we should also note that in this emotional climactic moment where the couple finally realizes, I'm willing to die to be with you because you are my one true love, and also Justice here. We should note that they're both wearing very earth-tony kind of colors, which I was just like, oh, I don't think I noticed before, but she's wearing a green blouse and he's got a brown zip-up. And I was just like, oh, God, we've costumed them like they're fucking Earth.
I didn't notice that at all.
Happy Earth Day, everybody. Anyway, it's 9:58 in Arundel County, and the event, the happening has passed.
The happening happened.
The happening has happened. So we have to hear voiceover. All of a sudden, we've never heard voiceover in the rest of this entire fucking movie. And instead, Elliot's like, I guess the event ended before we went out. Like, no shit, fucking Sherlock.
So it ended at 9:27 a.m. So they walked out 21 minutes after the event ended. Good for them.
And almost like, God, I wasn't even close to killing this child. It's a full 20 minutes too late.
So now I'm stuck with this little bitch.
Damn it.
I mean, I love you. Get on the fucking bus. Get out of here. I don't want to deal with you today.
Schools are opening.
Yeah.
First day of schools being open. That like hurt me to hear. I was like, ugh, too soon, even though it was made 20 years earlier.
Yeah. So we send her off on the bus, and then we discover, I've got a pregnancy test. I did find it a little bit ironic that we're taking this pregnancy test in a bathroom that has a bunch of plants in the window. I was just
plants in the window.
Too soon. Like, I'm getting rid of all of my plants. I'm sorry.
Okay, the entire northeastern United States would need massive therapy, because would you not be so traumatized from everything you witness, and the fact that it's like, the event just ended. Well, what's to say it's not going to happen tomorrow?
Exactly.
It felt like it does.
Yeah.
The other thing that's like weird is that like, we only get like a little snippet. Like we get, and I don't know, it's like almost 2 epilogues, whatever words you want to use, but we only get a little snippet of their everything's back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, okay, I know, again, having experienced it, did we change anything? Arguably no. But like, yeah, we did. Like, Earth changed. Like, if they really did conclude it was plants, whatever, like, They literally go back to, like, living like humans again.
I need to
She's
see
using her, like-
whole scenes of people with chainsaws out taking down trees and shrubbery and being like, never again, I'm moving to the desert.
Or it has
I'm thinking the opposite.
Well, yeah.
I
Or
want
I'm
to see
planting
people planting
trees.
stuff, being like, we love you, you, Earth, don't be mad.
The government created like 100 million new jobs of plant care.
Right, yeah.
Right. Like, I'm thinking they're like, her having plants around made me feel like, oh, she's now got a reverence for plants. Like, I'm thinking they're
Right.
coming out of this, like, earthy and being like, I'm sorry. And then we also got a colossal culling. Why is it just it's just like a regular city in that finale?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, this city should be
It should be
mostly
nearly empty.
Yeah.
It should be culled. Yeah, like, I was like, isn't the whole idea that the plants had to cull humanity? Like, that's like the, the thing people say when there's like pandemics and illnesses, like, oh, it's because our Earth, it's not, like, when I say people say it, I'm saying assholes and like you guys, whatever, say it, but they're like, oh, we're over capacity, and so the Earth is spitting us back out, and it's like, that kind of feels like what happened, and then they're just like back to normal.
Yeah.
And the city's populated.
Yeah.
It's the realest thing about this movie. Everybody just moved on from it.
But it's because we will learn that on another broadcast that it's like, oh, people are thinking that, like, because it only happened in one spot, doesn't really matter. If it happened anywhere else, in one more spot, then people would care. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, are we...
But did everybody just move to Philly? Like, did everyone from New York be like, yo, let's spread out. Real estate in Philly's really cheap.
And are we not counting, like, New York City and Philadelphia, two different... I mean, yes, they're both in the northeastern United States, but they're still two different cities. They're 2 hours apart.
And Boston.
Yes!
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like we should have a 28 weeks later situation where we've established New York City and there's, some kind of containment presence where we're all living within the concentrated 12 block presence to, okay, safety in numbers. Or maybe they should be even more spread out, given what we know about the contagion. It's like nobody is living in big cities anymore. We're actually repopulating. We're dispersing out across, farmers' fields as we plant all of these new trees and so on.
Yeah, something to show, hey, the world learned something from when plants attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what this movie should have been called. Yeah.
But I will say, in my notes, I wrote in all caps, who the fuck cares when we see that pregnancy test?
Oh, not at all.
No. No.
It's just, and then when she comes out and she's like smiling, it's like, oh, she's showing emotion.
Yeah, publicly.
I don't think you said this, but this is technically 3 months later. So this is like the second code.
Still,
yeah, it's 3
that's
months.
15
but
minutes.
It's like, that's not that long of a time.
No, it's not that long, such that like Philly would be repopulated.
And thus it's just like, oh, the event is over, and everybody immediately gets in their cars and their buses and goes right back home.
Also, I am leaving this area of the United States.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
out.
Yeah.
I'm on an island.
Like, go to California, as far away from this as you can get.
I'm on a boat getting murdered by the island zombies.
Yeah. Yeah, Dawn of the Deading, 100%.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
And instead, no, we just end the movie with another future calamity. It's the same storm clouds a brewing, only we're outside the Louvre in Paris.
Yeah.
Sure, my bicyclette. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like this as a final scene. I mean, it fits, it's poetic, whatever the fuck you want to say.
It feels very obvious for a horror film as well.
It feels very obvious, but I'm like, yeah, this is a fine way to end it. But at the same time, I wrote in my notes, who cares?
What about the happening part 2?
It's happening. Oh.
I think it's the croissants.
Les poissons, les poissons.
We literally just had a chat about not making fun of accents.
Mhm.
LOL.
What I'm saying is I don't want to hear anything from any French listeners. That's all I'm saying.
I watched like the episode of Nikki Doll today being like, who is Pepe Le Pew?
Y'all are Canadian, you're like part French.
Basically.
Yeah, that's how Canadians identify for sure.
That's why I'm so fluent. The happening part, duh. That's a good bit.
Yeah.
Part, duh.
But that's the happening.
That's the happening. It happened. It was an event.
Lindsay, as the guest of honor, what are your final thoughts on the happening? Like legitimate thoughts. We've been riffing a lot this episode, and I again, there are parts of this movie that I think are generally good. But what is your final say on this, Lindsay?
I mean, I genuinely really like this movie. I have so much fun with it, but I also think that there's like, I feel like you two can probably sympathize where there's a difference between when you're watching a movie with your critical lens and watching a movie for fun.
Right.
And sometimes you can find something different. I think the first time I saw this movie was on a train, and I was like a young undergrad that was just like, hell yeah, this is funny and dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's so fun. I think it's really easy to watch. Again, it's easy to zone out in those last 20 minutes because like by then I'm like, oh god, who cares?
Right.
But I just think it's like fun, easy to watch, and I think it's silly. And of course, Mark Wahlberg isn't exactly a hero amongst us, perhaps, but he's still someone who's fun to watch, and it's fun to watch him do a dumb job in a dumb movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's really fun.
Yeah.
I have a good time watching it, and I really like it.
Yeah, and everyone, look in the show notes, because we will link to Lindsay's article that she wrote for Bloody back in 2020, actually. Oh, this was like right after lockdown.
Yeah, it was like right, and we were in lockdown, and I was like, well, I guess I better do something.
I will say, though, you do say that Zooey Deschanel's performance is it's expertly deadpanning in a performance worthy of The Lobster.
Yeah, okay.
You stand by that.
I'll stand by that. Good for you, 2020, Lindsay. I'll stand by that.
What separates Shyamalan from Lanthimos?
Nothing.
Wow. Death threats incoming. Here we go.
First of all, why? They're both great. No, I love Lanthimos. Obviously, I like The Lobster the least of his movies that I've seen.
Okay.
Hot take. But yeah, I think, what's that other one with Aaron Paul, the clone one? It's like a movie where you have to fight your clone to the death.
Oh, it's the one with Karen Gillan, Duel.
That's the one. It's like, I feel like she fits there. I feel like she fits in there. She fits in The Lobster. These like deadpan movies where you're like, what is going on here? To me, I feel like she could do it.
It is tricky, right? In some ways, you have to meet the movie where it's at. So if you come into something like The Happening expecting The Sixth Sense, then you're going to be so fucking disappointed.
Well, I'm going to cut you off right now. If you're going into any post-Sixth Sense Shyamalan movie expecting The Sixth Sense, you are going to be disappointed.
I mean, I still love Unbreakable, so I will go to bat for that
This
film
is
every
not
day.
to say that they are bad movies or Unbreakable is a bad movie. It's saying that they are not The Sixth Sense.
They're not The Sixth Sense. They're just not the same kind of movie.
Yeah.
But I think, like, obviously I was being hyperbolic when I was being like, oh my god, brilliant. I mean, like, I'm being as tongue-in-cheek when I'm saying that, like, it's amazing. But I am making the point that I do think she is deadpanning, which makes sense for a movie like The Lobster and Duel.
Yeah.
And I think
and also
maybe
this.
she's not expertly. I don't think that it's exactly her resume to get cast in the next Yorgos movie. But
she might pull it off.
I think she's doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's what she's doing.
And she said that she's more, I mean, Zooey Deschanel said this, that she's more at home in comedy. Like, she's done dramatic work before, but she feels more at home in comedy. And, I think going back to what Shyamalan was saying, where he just feels like this movie didn't work because it was inconsistently farcical. And that's where I think, I wonder if he had a chance to, like, reattempt this movie.
Yeah.
Which direction he would lean more in.
I think we see it. I mean, here's the thing, folks. We have actually covered a fuck ton of Shyamalan texts on this podcast. Like, I think he's actually among the top, if not maybe even the top director that we have covered at this point. And we often praise him because even when he takes these big swings that don't work, he's still taking big fucking swings. And he self-finances all of his recent films. But, like, I'm thinking of something like Trap, and it feels not as bad, quote unquote, as this film, but that movie is dumb fun. There's tonal whiplash in it. Same with Old, the beach where you get old.
To me, if you were unsure if this guy was making, like, if this guy knew that his movies were dumb, if you're, like, unsure at The Happening, if you watch Old and you think that movie is playing it straight, like, come on.
But actually, I'm glad you brought up Trap, Joe, because I do think that Trap is the perfect balance of serious and comedy that Shyamalan's done in years.
I think it's the better version of this, like, because I felt like you were maybe steering us to say if he could do this movie again, and I would argue I think Trap is it.
I mean, kind of, but a lot of the things that people were complaining about Trap, that's where I was on my soapbox, being like, no, it's clearly meant to be funny. Like, come on.
So clearly meant to be funny.
Yeah.
That movie is a riot. Yeah. I still bemoan the fact that we will probably never get a sequel, and I wish we could get a sequel to that film.
Yes, I love that movie. Yeah. And I also think a huge part of that, not taking anything from M. Night, because I love M. Night, but a huge part of that is Josh Hartnett's performance.
It's really good. Yeah. It's really good. And I mean, even people are like, it loses its way when he leaves the console. I'm like, no, I still have a lot of fun. I think his daughter is really fun, giving a kind of bizarre performance in that movie.
Yeah, it's so weird, and I think it works.
It works.
Betty Buckley doing her best fucking Silence of the Lambs.
No.
Damn it, did I do this again? Oh, it's not the same. Okay.
This is Haley Mills from The Parent Trap, because the movie is called Trap.
Yeah.
Right. But you know what? They could play sisters in a Parent Trap remake with older lady actresses.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. But, Okay, well, that is the happening, and some quick housekeeping. Quick, I will say before we wrap this up. But Lindsay, first, thank you so much for coming on to this again. But let everyone know, where can they find, or where do you want people to find you online?
Great question. I'm not a lot of places. I do still have Instagram, Smash Travis, SMASHTRAVES, and then you can from there see where I'm at. Mostly at Pajiba, but other places as well, and you can find me there.
Okay, well, yeah, if you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us on Blue Sky and Instagram at HorrorQueers. Shoot us an email at horrorqueers@gmail.com. Find us on Letterboxd to keep track of all the films we've covered. If you want to chat with other listeners, please join our HorrorQueers Discord. That link is in the show notes. If you have a moment, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you want more content, including ad-free main feed episodes, please support the show by becoming a patron at patreon.com/horrorqueers. If you subscribe today, you'll get 482 hours of Patreon content, including this month's new episodes on Hannibal Season 3, Episodes 3 and 4, Faces of Death, They Will Kill You, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, and, to coincide with that last title, we already talked about it, but we have a brand new audio commentary on the 2017 Tom Cruise starring The Mummy, as well as the conclusion of our coverage of Mike Flanagan's The Haunting of Hill House on the Requel tier.
God, after all of this, are we going to have to do the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds at some point?
I mean,
now?
I do consider that a horror film.
I think so too.
I mean,
there's a lot of horrific imagery.
Alien invasion disaster films, like they're all playing in the horror genre sandbox.
Yeah, I'd agree. Mm-hmm.
But Joe,
yes,
we are not covering a disaster movie or an alien invasion movie next week. So what are we talking about?
Speaking of tonal whiplash, let's take it down several notches and go for something quite more insidious and sedate and just a little bit creepy. I think this is only the second Robin Williams film that we have ever tackled? ?
The first being Jumanji?
Yes. We're going to discuss 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah, I actually have not seen this since high school, but I do remember liking it a lot.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Michael Vartan. That's why I checked it out.
Oh, right, because he sees Michael Vartan's cheating on the wife. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Who I think is Radha Mitchell, but I might be wrong.
No, you're thinking, I think it's Connie Nielsen.
Okay, you know what? Also great.
Oh my god, what if we're both wrong?
We're probably both wrong. No, I think you're right.
I got that movie in a used box set.
Yes.
8mm.
Oh, shit. You know what? That's on point. I kind of like that as a double bill.
1 Hour Photo and 8mm. I guess, yeah, they're dealing with images.
It's both film processing.
Yeah. Well, until next week, everyone, we can cross out The Happening.
Indeed. And cross out, I'll say it right this time, horror queers.